Chapter 858. Supreme Grade Divine Artifact? The yellow-robed youth looked at Murong-yu with a murderous look. No, to be exact, he was looking at the long spear in Murong-yu's hand. His eyes were filled with greed. In the divine world, even low-grade divine artifacts were not common goods. Everyone had one. Low-grade divine artifacts were extremely rare. It was equivalent to a first-grade immortal artifact in the divine world. Not everyone had one. The higher the grade of the divine artifact, the rarer it was. For example, there were only a few saint-grade divine artifacts in the entire divine world. Even if there were, they would be in the hands of the true giants. A true god could kill a Sky Realm expert just by activating the divine artifact in his hand? This was the power of a divine artifact. This was at least a superior grade divine artifact. However, the Xuanqing City's City Lord Mansion was an overlord after all. The yellow-robed youth's status in the City Lord Mansion was not low. Although he did not have the right to own a superior grade divine artifact, he had seen it before. The faint aura coming from the long spear in Murong-yu's hand made the yellow-robed youth excited. It was at least a supreme-grade divine artifact. As for a supreme-grade divine artifact, that was the strongest existence below the saint-grade divine artifact. The yellow-robed youth had never thought of it, nor did he dare to think of it. After all, how could such a powerful divine artifact appear in the hands of a true god? It was not common goods. In fact, Murong-yu's weapon was indeed a supreme-grade divine artifact. It was just that the yellow-robed youth did not dare to believe it. Supreme-grade divine artifact. If I have a supreme-grade divine artifact, even if I'm only in the early-stage Sky Realm, I'll be invincible. The greed in the yellow-robed youth's eyes intensified. Looking at the long spear in Murong-yu's hand, he was almost drooling. Killing in the Xuanqing City is a capital offense. Killing the people of the City Lord Mansion is an additional offense. All of you must die. The yellow-robed youth shouted coldly as he reached out his hand to grab Murong-yu. Rumble. The aura of a Sky Realm exploded and shot into the sky, covering the entire Xuanqing City. Previously, the terrifying aura of the supreme grade god artifact had already shocked the entire Xuanqing City. However, the power of the divine artifact was simply too short. In less than an instant it returned to normal. However, that terrifying aura had intimidated many people. Now, when the yellow-robed youth burst forth with the aura of a heaven monarch, the people of Xuanqing City finally knew that something had happened here. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In less than a breath's time, the area around the mysterious star gambling den was surrounded by countless people. As long as one was a human, regardless of whether they were immortals or gods, they would always like to watch and enjoy the show. Surging waves of aura swept over, not to mention that Murong-yu's strength had been completely depleted. Even if he was at his peak, he would still be killed. At this moment, Murong-yu didn't even have the chance to escape. However, just because Murong-yu did not have one, it did not mean that Fan Tong did not have one. At this moment, Fan Tong was enraged and his murderous aura was soaring. He took a step forward and stood in front of Murong-yu. His eyes were cold and murderous as he said, "Stop it. Otherwise you will die. The city governor's mansion will be destroyed because of you." "With just you?" the yellow-robed youth laughed. In fact, the yellow-robed youth was not the only one who did not believe it. Apart from Murong-yu, no one else believed Fan Tong's words. However, Murong-yu knew that if Fan Tong's trump card were to be activated, the consequences would be dire. Once the shadow of his father appeared, the entire Xuanqing City would be razed to the ground with a single slap. However, some people were just despicable. They would not believe it until the very last moment. Moreover, the yellow-robed youth only had eyes for the supreme grade god artifact in Murong-yu's hands. "Scram, or I'll kill you too," the yellow-robed youth shouted coldly. A terrifying force swept down and was about to kill Murong-yu. Fan Tong was furious and was about to use his trump card to kill the yellow-robed youth. However, at this moment, boom! All of a sudden, an incomparably terrifying pressure pressed down from afar. Wherever it passed, the void would shatter into pieces. Rumble immediately, the defense array of the Xianxing city was activated. Suddenly, a huge energy shield enveloped the entire Xianxing city and emitted a faint divine light. However, even though the defense array of the Xianxing city was activated, the terrifying force had already rushed into the city. Plop, plop, plop. The experts who were originally floating in the void were swept by the terrifying pressure and fell from the sky one after another. They could not even stand in the void. Even the yellow-robed young man, who was about to attack, was knocked to the ground. His attack disappeared without a trace. This was just the beginning. When the terrifying pressure came crashing down, some of the weaker deities in the Xianxing city were directly crushed by it. This was also because the defense array of the Xianxing city was activated in time. Otherwise, the death rate would have been several times higher. What's going on? Everyone was shocked into a daze, and their faces were filled with confusion. Meanwhile, some of the weaker ones were filled with fear. Why did the defense array of the Xianxing city activate automatically? This is something that will only be activated when it is under extreme attack. Everyone was in a state of panic, especially those who had some understanding of the defense array of the Xianxing city. They all knew that the person who could force the defense array of the Xianxing city to activate automatically was definitely not a weakling. Roar! An incomparably furious voice rang out once again, directly shattering the boundless void. The defensive array of the celestial star city trembled violently, sending out beams of divine light that soared into the sky. Bang! 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 Everywhere the sound waves passed, blood splattered in the Xianxing city. Countless people were shocked to death. Even those who were stronger could not help but feel their blood boil. This was also because the defense array had blocked many of the attacks. Otherwise, even an overgod would have been shocked to death. People of the City Lord's mansion, gather at the City Lord's mansion immediately. Those who disobey will be killed. At this moment, an aura that was not inferior to the mysterious expert outside the city erupted from the City Lord's mansion. However, it was different from the violent and bloodthirsty aura of the mysterious expert who attacked the Xianxing city. This aura was rather gentle. Wherever it passed, the aura from the mysterious expert was dispelled one after another. Hearing the majestic voice, the yellow-robed youth's face changed slightly. He turned his head and looked at the supreme-grade god weapon in Murong Yu's hand reluctantly. However, he left quickly in the end. Roar! Another furious roar came. However, this time, the experts in the Xianxing city reacted. Although the roar was louder than before, it did not cause any damage to the Xianxing city. No one was injured. They were only shaken to the point where their blood boiled. After the roar, an extremely terrifying aura shot over from afar. At the same time, the people in the Xianxing city saw an overwhelming dark cloud that almost covered half of the sky rapidly enlarging and flying towards the Xianxing city. Divine dragon! Oh my God, that's a divine dragon! Soon, the dark cloud was close to the Xianxing city. At this moment, everyone finally saw what the black shadow was. It was not a dark cloud, but an extremely huge dragon that was tens of millions of miles long. Oh my God, didn't the dragon tribe go extinct long ago? Why is there a divine dragon here? The people in the Xianxing city went crazy. Dragons did exist. However, it was only a legend. This was because the invincible dragons of the primordial age had gone extinct. No one knew if they were extinct or had gone into seclusion. In any case, there were no dragons after the primordial age. However, Murong Yu had encountered a black dragon in the Dead Sea of the immortal world. That was a real dragon tribe. However, that black dragon should have survived since the primordial age. In the end, after leaving behind his inheritance, it still died. The dragon's aura was vast and mighty. It looked at the Xianxing city with murderous intent. A violent aura constantly erupted from its body, full of murderous intent. This is not a real divine dragon, it's just a dragon beast, Murong Yu and Fan Tong said to Fan Tong as they stood up and looked at the dragon beast in the sky. This dragon beast was the same as the one Murong Yu saw in the ghost realm. However, the dragon beast in the ghost realm was only the lowest level of demonic beast, only at the overgod realm. And now, this dragon beast was tens of thousands of times stronger than that dragon beast. At the very least, the pressure emitted by the yellow-robed heavenly monarch realm youth who had attacked Murong Yu earlier paled in comparison to the dragon beast. It's at least at the heavenly king realm. It might even be at the heavenly emperor realm. Fan Tong's face darkened. Murong Yu nodded. He did not doubt Fan Tong's words. Although Fan Tong was not very strong, his father was. In the circle of overlords, what kind of experts had Fan Tong not seen before? It was still possible to distinguish a person's strength. I wonder why this dragon beast is attacking the city? Look at how it's raging and wreaking havoc. It seems to have a huge grudge against the Xianxing city. Murong Yu frowned and said, "This dragon beast is too strong. I'm afraid the Xianxing city can't stop it. We have to be prepared. If the situation goes wrong, we have to escape immediately," Fan Tong said in a low voice. As for whether they could leave now? Didn't they see that the entire Xianxing city was covered by the city defense array? Even the teleportation formation was closed. Obviously, the City Lord Manor and the other forces that controlled the teleportation formation wanted them to stay and die with the Xianxing city. It was a little shameful. "Dragon Beast, why are you attacking the city for no reason?" A middle-aged man stepped into the air from the City Lord Manor and directly crossed the Lake City battle. He hovered in the sky and looked at the dragon beast in the distance, and asked in a low voice. He was the City Lord of the Xianxing city, Xianxing. Peak Heavenly King Advanced Stage. Chapter 859. Everyone in Xianxing city must die. The dragon beast didn't say anything, but his spirit consciousness swept across the void. At this moment, everyone was exposed to his angry message. What's going on? The people in Xianxing city were shocked, not knowing what was going on. In the realm of the gods, even demonic beasts that had not gained intelligence would not casually attack a human city. After all, it was normal to kill humans in human settlements outside the city. Didn't humans often kill demonic beasts in the wild? However, demonic beasts would not attack a city. Because they were powerful, even if they could destroy a city. There was no lack of true powerhouses among the humans. A city had billions of gods. If it was destroyed, it would naturally attract the attention of those powerhouses. At that time, the demonic beast would only die. Just like today, if the dragon beast was powerful enough to slaughter the entire Xianxing city. But in a few days, this dragon beast would definitely be killed by the powerhouses of the human race. However, in the realm of the gods, it was not uncommon for demonic beasts to massacre cities. For example, if someone killed the most important family member of these demonic beasts, it would naturally not appease the anger of these demonic beasts. I remember now, it's the Li family. Half a year ago, the Li family beheaded a heavily injured dragon beast and auctioned off the dragon beast's meat. Suddenly, a person cried out in alarm. Yes, I still remember that scene half a year ago. That dragon beast was said to have reached the peak of the heavenly king realm. But for some reason, it was heavily injured and was taken advantage of by a backup of the Li family. Maybe that dragon beast and this dragon beast were a pair, and now it has come to take revenge. Many of us ate the dragon beast's meat back then. Even now, the smell of the dragon beast still lingers on our bodies. It's over, no wonder the dragon beast was massacred. We all have the smell of the dragon beast. It would be strange if it didn't massacre the city. In Xianxing city, many people's faces turned green. Murong Yu's face changed slightly. He had eaten the dragon beast's meat back then. Although many years had passed, who knew if the dragon beast had some special method to sense the dragon beast's smell on his body? It's all because of the Lee family. The main culprit is the Lee family. What's wrong with the Lee family? Was he still a coward? Hurry up and force that dragon beast to retreat. If it wasn't for you guys, this dragon beast wouldn't have come all the way here. The Lee family of the Xuanxing city was surrounded by countless people at this moment. All of them were roaring furiously. They blamed the Lee family for the arrival of the dragon beast. Lee family main hall. Countless clan experts gathered in the main hall, their faces livid with rage. One reason was because of the responsibility and roars of the people outside, and the other reason was because the Lee family had killed the young man who had severely injured the dragon beast. An expert who had reached the Heaven Monarch realm. Being in the Heaven Monarch realm, he was already the #1 expert among the younger generation of the Lee clan. Although it hadn't been long since he broke through. In fact, he had only broken through half a year ago. It was precisely because he ate the dragon meat that he was able to break through in one go and become an existence at the level of the Lee family's ancestor. However, at this moment, he was trembling with fear. If this matter was not handled properly, he would die, the Lee family would be destroyed, and the entire Xuanxing city would be razed to the ground by the angry dragon beasts. Half a year ago, Li Zixi was outside when he encountered two monstrous demonic beasts fighting. In the end, both sides suffered great losses. After one of the demonic beasts left, he secretly targeted the dragon beast that was severely injured and blown to death. In the end, he launched a sneak attack and killed the dragon beast. Because of this dragon beast, the strength of countless people in the Li family increased by several times. And because of this dragon beast, they made a fortune. If this continued, the Li family's strength would grow stronger and stronger, and they might even become a first-rate family in the Xuanxing city. But this time, the dragon beast came for them. Li Zixi, this is all because of you. You have to face this matter. An elder of the Li family looked at Li Zixi with a gloomy face. He almost wanted to capture Li Zixi and send him to the dragon beast outside the city. If it wasn't for you, the dragon beast wouldn't have attacked the city. We wouldn't have suffered the disaster of being exterminated. One by one, they kept criticizing Li Zixi as if it had nothing to do with them. Bastard! Li Zixi was incomparably furious. Killing intent surged in his heart. It was true that he had picked up a bargain, but which one of the people present didn't benefit? In fact, Li Zixi dared to guarantee that the loudest voices were the greediest people back then. They must still have a lot of dragon beast meat on hand. When he dragged the dragon beast home, why didn't these people jump out to criticize him? Jump out to say that he was the culprit? Alright, everyone, stop criticizing Zixi. Each and every one of you has received great benefit. Each of you has the aura of a dragon beast. Now we can only get through this difficult situation together. Otherwise, our Li family will be destroyed. The patriarch of the Li family, Li Bainan, finally spoke. With the patriarch's words, everyone fell silent. However, our Li family doesn't have a heavenly king powerhouse. If we were to confront the dragon beast, we wouldn't be a match for it at all. The dragon beast is at least at the heavenly king realm. An elder said helplessly. The Li family was a big family in the mysterious Star City. The entire family had more than 10 heavenly monarch powerhouses. Their patriarch, Li Bainan, had even reached the peak of the heavenly monarch realm. He was only one step away from the heavenly king realm. However, so what if he was infinitely close to the heavenly king realm? He was still not a heavenly king realm powerhouse. A true heavenly king realm powerhouse, even if he was only at the early stage of the heavenly king realm, could crush a peak of the heavenly monarch realm with a single finger. Furthermore, the dragon beast outside the city was not only at the early stage of the heavenly king realm. Didn't you see how terrifying that roar was? Didn't you see that even the Xianxing city lord, who had reached the peak of the Heavenly King realm, had a serious expression on his face? We have to face this matter personally. Otherwise, even if we can survive the attack of the dragon beast, the city lord will not let us go. The entire Xianxing city will not let us go either. Now, follow me out to face the enemy. Li Bainan glanced at everyone and then soared into the sky. The Li family's heavenly monarch realm powerhouses had no choice but to soar into the sky. They crossed the great city barrier array and came to the back of Xianxing. Other than them, many powerhouses of the Xianxing city had come out. However, although the Xianxing city was one of the biggest cities in the Dream Wilderness continent, there were very few Heavenly King realm powerhouses. Including the city lord, Xianxing, there were only 5 Heavenly King realm powerhouses. A Heavenly King realm expert was already considered to be at the top of the divine realm. As long as they were not too arrogant, they could do whatever they wanted in the divine realm. How could an expert of this level be like a true God realm expert, running around the streets? Murong Yu thought to himself. Even in the Heavenly Dao sect, there were not many Heavenly King realm powerhouses. However, while there were few Heavenly King realm powerhouses, there were more Heavenly Monarch realm powerhouses. There were already thousands of powerhouses who had left the great city barrier array. What's more, there were still some who had not left. After all, the Xianxing city was so big. There were many families and forces. However, not every family was like the Li family, who sent out all their Heavenly Monarch realm powerhouses. Some families were even bigger than the Li family, but only 1 or 2 Heavenly Monarch realm powerhouses were sent out. Murong Yu guessed that there should be tens of thousands of Heavenly Monarch realm powerhouses in the Xianxing city. There might even be 1 or 2 Heavenly King realm powerhouses hidden. Dragon Beast, leave now. We'll write off what happened before. Otherwise, you're no match for us. Xianxing placed his hands behind his back and looked at the shrunken dragon beast in front of him indifferently. The aura of a peak Heavenly King realm powerhouse was exposed. It was as if he could suppress the 9 heavens and 10 earth. Even so, the dragon beast's body was thousands of miles long. Xianxing and the rest stood in front of them. They were like tiny particles. Roar! All of you must die! The dragon beast roared angrily. Then, it spread out its divine sense again. The dragon beast's huge eyes, which were emitting a faint red light, stared at Li Zizai who was behind Xianxing. With one look, it knew that it was this man who killed its other half. If it wasn't for the urgent matter, it would have rushed out to kill Li Zizai that day. But, it couldn't leave. After waiting for half a year, it used a special method to follow the scent of its partner, and came all the way here. But, before it even got close to the Xianxing city, the killing intent in its heart became even more violent. Because its other half's aura was everywhere in the Xianxing city. In other words, many people in the Xianxing city had eaten its partner's flesh. All of them must die. The dragon beast only had one thought in its mind, and that was to kill all of them. Only by doing so could it release the anger in its heart. Dragon beast, don't be so shameless. You may be strong, but you're only a Heavenly King realm powerhouse. I'm not afraid of you. Xianxing's face was dark, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. As a peak Heavenly King realm powerhouse, he naturally had his pride. He didn't want to fight the dragon beast, but it didn't mean that he was afraid of it. He just didn't want to waste his strength. Roar! What answered him was the dragon beast's roar and a huge claw. The dragon beast finally lost its patience, and took the initiative to attack. Beast, you're courting death! Xianxing roared. In a flash, he rushed up and punched out. Rumble! After a loud explosion, a terrifying shockwave exploded. Even though the void of the divine world was extremely stable, it was still shattered by the terrifying shockwave. With a swoosh, Xianxing was sent flying by the terrifying shockwave. But the dragon beast didn't move at all. It was obvious who was stronger. But this was just the beginning. Bang! 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 As the terrifying shockwave swept across, those Heaven Monarch Realm experts behind Xian Xing were smashed into pieces by the shockwave, bursting into clouds of blood mist. After the shockwave passed, at least 2/3 of the Heavenly Monarch Realm experts were killed. The rest of them were pale. The most unlucky one was the Li family. The entire family had more than 10 Heavenly Monarchs. Now, only their family leader was left, the peak Heavenly Monarch Realm expert, Li Bainan. Chapter 860. After the shock wave, the number of Heaven Monarch Realm experts who were originally standing in the sky was reduced to just over 2,000 people in an instant. 2/3 of them were gone. Beast. Xian Xing, who was at the peak of the Heavenly King realm, had only exchanged one blow with the Dragon Beast. However, he was sent flying while the Dragon Beast remained unmoved. This was already embarrassing enough for Xian Xing. Furthermore, thousands of Heavenly Monarch Realm experts had been killed because of their attack. This made Xian Xing even more enraged. In Xian Xing City, the City Lord Mansion was the absolute ruler. However, in order to maintain the normal operation of Xian Xing City, the City Lord Mansion alone was not enough. All the major families had to work together. If all the experts of the major families were killed and only the City Lord Mansion was left, Xian Xing would not be able to protect Xian Xing City. After all, such a big city was coveted by countless people. Lord of Heaven, retreat to the city. Heavenly King, assist me in killing this beast. Xian Xing was enraged. With a low roar, he turned into a streak of light in the sky and attacked the Dragon Beast. Hearing Xian Xing's words, how could the frightened Lord of Heaven still dare to stay? They all rushed back to Xian Xing City. As for the other 4 Heavenly Kings, they spread their bodies and attacked the Dragon Beast at the same time. Roar! Seeing the 5 Heavenly King realm experts pouncing on it, the Dragon Beast was fearless and immediately engaged in a fierce battle with them. Boom! 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 Beams of divine light burst out continuously, tearing the void and shattering the earth. They kept on attacking the city defense array of Xian Xing City. The city defense array kept on emitting dazzling divine light. The divine crystals were being depleted rapidly. The city defense array required energy to maintain. Every time it was attacked, an astronomical amount of divine crystals would be used up. In the long run, the divine crystals would be depleted one day. At that time, the city defense array would automatically be destroyed due to the lack of energy to maintain it. However, Xian Xing City was one of the biggest cities in the Dream Wilderness mainland. It was impossible to deplete their divine crystals in a short time. Moreover, Xian Xing and the rest knew that the power of their battle was too terrifying. It was a great pressure on Xian Xing City. Therefore, in the midst of the battle, they unknowingly lured the Dragon Beast away from Xian Xing City. After they left the mysterious Star City, the people in the city heaved a sigh of relief. Even with the protection of the city protecting Grand Array, the shockwaves from Xian Xing and the others' battle didn't enter the city. However, the Great City Barrier Formation could only block the power. Although it could block a portion of the pressure, it could still block a portion of it. However, it was impossible to organize all of them. As for the Dragon Beast and the others, they were all super powerhouses of the Heavenly King realm. Their pressure continued to erupt, and the people of Xian Xing City could be killed at any time. Brother, which side do you think will win? Fan Tong suddenly asked Murong Yu. At this moment, Murong Yu's strength had recovered to its peak after devouring a few divine veins. There was nothing he could do about it. In this place where danger lurked everywhere, he could only maintain his combat prowess by returning to his peak state. Otherwise, he wouldn't even know how he died. Even though the might of a peerless divine artifact is terrifying, it consumes too much energy. If it weren't for the 3 godhoods, the power of just one godhood wouldn't be able to activate the power of a supreme grade artifact. I definitely can't act so recklessly in the future. If I can't kill the other party with a single blow, then without any divine power, wouldn't I be like a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered? Even though Morongyu was shocked by the might of a peerless divine artifact, he knew how terrifying it was. Hearing Fan Tong's words, Morongyu shook his head. At this moment, Xian Xing and the others were already far away from Xian Xing City. Even if they were in Xian Xing City, with their strength, they wouldn't be able to see their movements clearly. Even more so, they wouldn't be able to see how strong they were. However, Morongyu had an intuition. I feel that Xian Xing and the others won't be able to do anything to the dragon beast. At the very least, they won't be able to kill the dragon beast. When he was in the ghost region, Morongyu had seen many demonic beasts attacking the Spectre Village. At that time, there were even demonic beasts that were many times stronger than the dragon beast. At that time, even the experts of the Spectre Village, who were at the same level as the demonic beasts, would find it extremely difficult to kill them. The physical bodies of the demonic beasts were extremely strong. Even though they didn't have a systematic cultivation technique, they had innate abilities. In addition to their strong physical bodies and terrifying strength, it was extremely difficult for true gods to kill them. Previously, Xian Xing was sent flying with a single blow from the dragon beast. One could imagine that he was far from the dragon beast. So what if he had the help of 4 Heavenly King stage experts? I have the same feeling too. Fan Tong's eyes shone brightly. He had even seen Heavenly King stage experts before. Even though he was too weak to know which side was stronger, he could still vaguely feel it. However, this damn thing has caused us to suffer losses. Fan Tong cursed. The only reason this guy came to Xian Xing City was to gamble on stones. However, after such a thing happened, which stone gambling den wouldn't have closed down long ago. Therefore, this made Fan Tong extremely unhappy. It's best if both sides suffer losses. Morongyu was laughing coldly in his heart. After he entered Xian Xing City, he first saw Xian Yu from the City Lord Mansion trying to snatch a man. Then, he was robbed by Xian Xing's stone gambling den. His intuition told him that Xian Xing wasn't a good person. As the saying goes, if the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. If the people below were like this, how good could the people above be? Moreover, this wasn't Morongyu's ultimate goal. The dragon beast's entire body was a treasure. Even if it was the dragon beast's meat, it contained extremely terrifying strength and the dragon beast's godly laws. It was extremely useful for condensing the godly body and godhood. Moreover, this was a Heavenly King stage dragon beast. Morongyu didn't need these now, but he still had his family and loved ones. Zhao Jiqing and the rest would ascend to the god realm sooner or later. If they could get their hands on the dragon beast's meat, they could quickly condense the godly body and godhood and become stronger. At the thought of his family, Morongyu's heart couldn't help but tighten. He felt that his strength was increasing too slowly. If some experts who had cultivated for countless eras to reach the true god realm knew what Morongyu was thinking, they would probably give him a big slap. Wasn't that enough? However, they still didn't know how strong Morongyu's enemies were. Whether it was the Divine Union, the Immortal Palace, or the Devil Sect, they were all super forces in the 4 continents. Morongyu would be discovered by them sooner or later. At that time, they would definitely take action against Morongyu. Morongyu alone didn't matter. After all, the god realm was so big. At most, he would find a sacred mountain to cultivate and become stronger before coming out of seclusion to wipe them all out. However, he couldn't do that. He still had his family. Those people would ascend sooner or later. After all, they could only live for one era in the immortal world. In other words, Morongyu only had one era's worth of time. Although there was a limit to one's lifespan after becoming a true god, the lifespan would get longer with every increase in cultivation level. Morongyu, on the other hand, wouldn't just stand by and watch his loved ones die of old age. Therefore, he wanted to do everything he could to improve everyone's strength. He believed that one day, he would truly reach the realm of immortality and indestructibility. His family would be the same. Although Xian Tian and the others were far away from the mysterious Star City, the city-protecting array of the mysterious Star City wasn't shut down. No one could enter or leave the mysterious Star City. Moreover, although everyone was in the mysterious Star City, they could still hear the terrifying sounds and energy waves coming from afar. Although it was very weak, it was because they were too far away. Xian Xing and the others were still fighting with the dragon beast. Finally, after 3 days, the terrifying pressure and energy waves disappeared. Another half a day later, 3 streams of light flew over from afar and rushed into the mysterious Star City. They were the City Lord Xian Xing and the other 2 Heavenly King realm experts. At this moment, the 3 of them were covered in blood. Their bodies had suffered terrible injuries and their energy was in chaos. Obviously, they had suffered heavy injuries. The remaining 2 Heavenly Kings didn't come back with them. They had probably been killed by the dragon beast. The dragon beast has been pushed back. It won't be back in a short period of time. Remove the city-protecting array and activate the teleportation array, Xian Xing said and rushed into the City Lord's mansion. The remaining 2 Heavenly Kings also rushed back to their own families to heal their injuries. 2 Heavenly King realm experts have died. Even Xian Xing, who was at the peak of the Heavenly King realm, was severely injured. But this only pushed the dragon beast back? Instantly, everyone in the mysterious Star City was stunned. After the teleportation array was activated and the city-protecting array was removed, those who didn't belong to the mysterious Star City or those who chose the stars either teleported or flew out of the mysterious Star City. Although the dragon beast had been repelled, who knew if it would come back and attack again? What could they use to block it? It was better to leave as soon as possible. Murong Yu and Xian Xing had the same plan. However, they didn't go to the teleportation array. Instead, they flew out of the mysterious Star City. What? We're going to raid the dragon beast's nest? After hearing Murong Yu's crazy idea, Fan Tong almost fell from the sky. However, this guy was obviously a daring person. After the initial shock, he became excited. But how do we know where the dragon beast's nest is? Well, this guy wasn't worried about the dragon beast's terrifying strength at all. With the dragon beast's strength, even if they didn't get close, it could kill them with its aura. Murong Yu glanced at the enormous and unending white light that remained in the sky and smiled. I have a method to track the dragon's lair. That white light was the dragon beast's aura. When the dragon beast appeared, Murong Yu had already memorized its aura. It was only at this moment that Murong Yu finally realized how different he was. Even those who had the spatial godhead couldn't see the aura left behind by everyone in the sky. Only he was like this. Murong Yu naturally didn't understand this, but he was more than happy. After all, it was better for him to be the only one who could control such a method. Otherwise, if he met such a person and was targeted by the other party, he would have nowhere to run. Chapter 861. Murong Yu thought that it must have something to do with the space rules of order that he had comprehended. It was the Xi formula of the 9 syllables. The attributes of the Godhead were actually the rules of order. For example, the lightning divinity was the law of lightning. There was lightning in his attacks. However, there was another rule above the rules of order. The rules were above the rules of order. There was only one rule for every rule. For example, the space rules of order and the lightning rules of order. However, there were many types of rules. For example, under the water rules of order, there were the water rules of order and the ice rules of order. Normally, those who had comprehended the space rules of order would not be able to see the aura left behind by everyone like Murong Yu. Only those who had comprehended the rules of order would be able to do so. Immediately, Murong Yu and Fan Tong moved and followed the aura left behind by the dragon beast. Of course, other than Murong Yu and Fan Tong, there were many others who had the same idea. However, these people did not have Murong Yu's ability. After a few days, no one could follow them anymore. Brother, can you really follow it? Fan Tong could not help but ask along the way. He believed in Morongyu, but this was too unbelievable. Because they were already billions of miles away from Xuanxing City. They had even crossed a region. Trust me. Morongyu smiled. In terms of tracking ability, if he said that he was the second best in the realm of gods, no one would dare to say that they were the best. However, Fan Tong did not know. Moreover, even if Morongyu told him, he might not believe it. After all, it was too strange. 3 months later. Do you really believe that you can follow it? Fan Tong asked again. Because they had been following it for a full 3 months. With their speed, they had crossed a few regions. Morongyu was also a little depressed. This dragon beast was so far away from Xuanxing City. Moreover, the dragon beast's ability was too terrifying. It could still chase after them from such a long distance. Be careful, the dragon beast should be inside. At this moment, they had already entered deep into a mountain range with no end in sight. They were very careful, afraid that they would alert other demonic beasts. In fact, how could there be no other demonic beasts in the place where the dragon beast lived? At the very least, they were demonic beasts that were even stronger than dragon beasts. That was a heavenly emperor realm demonic beast? Thinking that there might be a heavenly emperor realm demonic beast nearby, Morongyu and the other man became even more cautious. They did not even dare to breathe heavily. There was no other way. They only had the strength of true God realm. If they encountered a heavenly emperor realm demonic beast, no, it should be said that before they even got close to that level of demonic beast, they would be shocked to death by the formless pressure emitted by the demonic beast. Thus, they hid during the day and went out at night. They were very careful. After a month, they finally arrived at a valley. It should be inside. After arriving, Morongyu and Jian Xiaotian sensed a powerful and familiar aura. It was the demonic beast that attacked the mysterious Star City. After arriving here, they didn't dare to make any moves because they didn't know if the dragon beast was alive or dead. What if the dragon beast was alive and well and they barged in? Wouldn't that be courting death? Wealth comes from danger. After the two of them were silent for a while, they looked at each other and then quietly walked towards the depths of the valley. The closer they got to the depths of the valley, the more terrifying the pressure of the dragon beast became. It was simply suppressing the 9 heavens and 10 earth. After walking for more than half a day, the two of them stopped. It wasn't that there were demonic beasts in front of them, nor was it that they were being targeted. Instead, the aura was too strong, and they were unable to continue forward. The gap between them and a heavenly king stage powerhouse was too great. Hee, I'm here. Fan Tong chuckled and patted his body. In an instant, a light barrier appeared, allowing Morongyu to enter it headfirst. This light barrier could even withstand the pressure of the bloody hand back then, let alone this dragon beast that was only a heavenly king stage? With this light barrier, Morongyu and Jian Xiaotian were completely unobstructed and directly rushed into the depths of the valley. Be careful, the dragon beast is right in front. Not long after, they saw the dragon beast's huge body crawling on the ground. Dead. Fan Tong and Morongyu looked at each other, their eyes revealing a hint of surprise. This was because they couldn't feel any life force from the dragon beast. In other words, the dragon beast was already dead. However, the dragon beast was still emitting such a terrifying aura when it was dead. These top powerhouses were indeed terrifying. However, Morongyu and Jian Xiaotian were still worried. Who knew if the dragon beast was faking its death? Therefore, the two of them waited for another 3 months before they were finally sure that the dragon beast was completely dead. Let's go to the dragon beast's lair and take a look. There must be something good. Morongyu and Jian Xiaotian quickly passed by the dragon beast's corpse and arrived at the dragon beast's lair. This was an incomparably huge cave, tens of thousands of miles wide. It was so deep that one couldn't see the bottom. However, what made Morongyu and Jian Xiaotian depressed was that although the cave was big, there was nothing other than a huge egg in the middle of the cave. This huge white egg was huge, half a head taller than Morong Yu and Fan Tong combined. Other than that, it would probably take two Morong Yu and Fan Tong to wrap their arms around it. This should be the dragon beast's egg, right? Morong Yu and Fan Tong looked at each other. If this was the dragon beast's egg, they could basically guess what had happened before. Half a year ago, a powerful demonic beast came to snatch the territory. Another dragon beast fought with it and was severely injured in the end. As for this female dragon beast, it should be during the process of laying the egg and did not make a move. It was precisely because of this that the Li family took advantage of the situation and killed the male dragon beast. It also took half a year for the female dragon beast to lay the dragon beast's egg and then went to take revenge. However, even though the dragon beast is dead, it still emits such a terrifying pressure. That Li family's Li Zizai had not even reached the heavenly monarch realm before. How did he kill the dragon beast? Could it be that the dragon beast's divinity was taken away? There was no more energy left on its body? Fan Tong guessed. It doesn't matter, the dragon beast is already dead. What do we do with this egg? Roast it and eat it. It is said that the dragon beast's egg contains an extremely shocking amount of energy that is extremely beneficial to a person's cultivation. Fan Tong said with a chuckle. He did not know if the dragon beast's egg had already produced a baby dragon beast. When he heard Fan Tong's words, Morong Yu clearly saw the dragon beast's egg tremble, as if it was afraid. This egg is so big you can't finish it. Moreover, it's too wasteful. If the baby dragon beast hatches, when it matures, it will be a super battle force. Who knows, it might even evolve into a real divine dragon. At this point, Morong Yu's heart suddenly moved. When he was in the immortal world, he had obtained the black dragon's inheritance. Although the black dragon was more wretched, it was still a real divine dragon. If the black dragon's inheritance was passed on to the baby dragon beast, it might really evolve into a real divine dragon. Thinking of this, Morong Yu could not help but look forward to it. In that case, you can keep this dragon beast's egg. Fan Tong said indifferently. He was just casually saying, what kind of things had he not eaten before? At this time, he was already staring at the incomparably huge dragon beast's corpse. This dragon beast's corpse was full of treasures. With a thought, Morong Yu immediately put the dragon beast's egg into his storage space. Then, he looked at the dragon beast's corpse that was tens of thousands of miles long and worried. After staring at each other for a while, Morong Yu asked Fan Tong, "Can your interspatial ring hold it?" Fan Tong shook his head. "No, what about yours?" Morong Yu was immediately speechless. "My storage ring is the trashiest storage ring in the immortal world. The space inside can't even hold a small mountain." At this time, Morong Yu missed Hichu Luoshu again. If he had Hichu Luoshu, not to mention that the dragon beast's corpse was only tens of thousands of miles long, even if it was hundreds of millions of times longer, it would still be able to hold it. Could it be that we can only look at it? Morong Yu sighed. He did not want to let go of the dragon beast's corpse. Then, he stared at Fan Tong. "Don't you have a strong background? Your father is so powerful, but he didn't give you such a big storage ring?" Fan Tong immediately showed a bitter expression. "My life is very difficult. My father is very cruel to me. Moreover, storage rings and the like are originally very difficult to refine. The bigger the space, the harder it is to refine. Moreover, only those with spatial divine deity can refine a relatively large space. Of course, as long as there are materials, many people can refine those common goods. But the space is pitifully small. Could it be that there are no spatial divine tools in the immortal world? The Heavenly Tao sect clearly has an extremely large space mountain Hichu, and there are not only one or two. The Heavenly Tao sect's mountain Hichu? That requires the consumption of divine crystals. The larger the space, the more terrifying the consumption of divine crystals. The real space, I'm afraid, can't even hold this dragon beast. Is there no divine tool with a huge space? Of course there is, but those are in the hands of the big shots in the immortal world. Moreover, every time that kind of divine tool appears, it will cause a reign of terror, and blood will flow like a river. Murong Yu's heart sank. It seems that a spatial treasure like Hichu Luoshu is a rare existence no matter where it is. If the news of Hichu Luoshu is exposed, I'm afraid that even the top experts in the immortal world will come to snatch it. This secret must not be exposed. However, Murong Yu's heart sank fiercely, and so did his heart. Back then, the young master of the Divine Union had stayed in the immortal world. It was possible that he knew about Hichu Luoshu. Moreover, the Immortal Palace and the others might also have gotten the news. Once Murong Yu's identity was exposed, these people might take action against him. It might even repeat the scene of being the enemy of the whole world. What should we do? Murong Yu looked at Fan Tong. Forget it, let's eat first and then take as much as we can. Fan Tong gritted his teeth and laughed. Murong Yu nodded. This was the only way. Perhaps he could also use the power of the dragon beast meat to break through to the true god realm in his other two divine deities. Chapter 862. Even though the dragon beast was dead, its ferocious aura was still present. The terrifying aura of a heavenly king could be felt from afar, intimidating the entire area. Ordinary demonic beasts didn't even dare to get close. After all, no demonic beast knew that the dragon beast was dead. As for those demonic beasts that were stronger than the dragon beast, they wouldn't even bother to snatch the dragon beast's territory. Hence, in the following period of time, Murong Yu and Fan Tong were here, roasting the dragon beast meat. However, even though the dragon beast was dead, it wasn't easy for them to eat the dragon beast meat. Firstly, the dragon beast's aura was too terrifying. They couldn't move freely here. They could only rely on Fan Tong's protective shield to resist. Moreover, the dragon beast's skin was very thick. With Murong Yu and Fan Tong's strength, they couldn't break the dragon beast's skin. Fortunately, the dragon beast was already heavily injured. Its body was covered with shocking wounds. Furthermore, Murong Yu and Murong Yu both possessed peerless divine artifacts. If the dragon beast was still alive, even if it stood there and let Murong Yu and Fan Tong cut it with their supreme grade god artifacts, they wouldn't be able to hurt the dragon beast. But now, a large piece of it was cut off. Fan Tong, let's go deeper into the cave and find a place to isolate this terrifying aura. I want to break through here. Murong Yu muttered to Fan Tong. He had a feeling that if the primal god lattice could break through to the true god stage, perhaps Hichu Luoshu would return. Moreover, the primal chaos celestial record had already broken through. There was no need to continue comprehending the cultivation technique. As long as he had enough strength, he could break through. I want to cultivate too. Fan Tong nodded. After seeing these experts make a move, Fan Tong also felt pressured. Actually, the most important thing was that he had one less trump card after using it. At this rate, he would soon run out of trump cards. At that time, would he still be able to survive in the Dream Wilderness land? Hence, he had to become stronger. The cave where the dragon beast was in was very deep. Murong Yu and Lu Li were separated by a few 100 kilograms of dragon beast meat, and only stopped after they had traveled for hundreds of thousands of miles. Here, the dragon beast's pressure was not as terrifying. It was barely enough for Murong Yu and Yi Zichen to withstand. Eat dragon meat, refine energy, and cultivate. The dragon meat contained a lot of energy, but whether it was Murong Yu or Fan Tong, if they wanted to break through, they would need a lot of energy. Year after year passed. Whenever they finished eating the dragon meat, they would go back and dig for more. During this process, Murong Yu's primal god lattice and spatial god lattice were also rapidly gathering energy. Of course, lightning divinity was not far behind. However, what made Murong Yu feel a little helpless was that the fastest condensing speed of his power was still the spatial godhead. The power of space was simply too abundant. It was everywhere. After being absorbed by the spatial godhead, the spatial godhead quickly reached the peak of the late-stage true god realm. Next was the primal chaos god lattice. The speed at which the tree of life absorbed the power of chaos was not slow. Compared to ordinary people, it was many times faster. However, it was still far too slow. On the 10th year, Morong Yu's spatial godhead was the first to break through, reaching the early stage true god realm. However, after Morong Yu broke through, the speed at which the spatial godhead was increasing also slowed down. In reality, the spatial godhead's absorption and refinement speed did not slow down. On the contrary, it increased by many times. However, in order to increase one's strength in the true god realm, the amount of energy needed was even greater. It was also because of this that in the divine world, the higher one's cultivation level was, the harder it was to break through. Of course, with the long lifespan of a true god, it was still possible for them to increase the power of their godhead to the limit. However, the bottleneck of every cultivation level was a barrier that limited countless true gods. Countless true gods exhausted their lifespan but were still unable to break through. After all, true gods were not immortal. They also had a limit to their lifespan. Because Morong Yu's lightning divinity had already broken through, his spatial godhead did not trigger any godhead. Thus, Morong Yu was able to continue cultivating the primal god lattice. On the 20th year, as Morong Yu's body shook violently, the primal god lattice finally broke through and reached the early true god realm. It was also at this moment that the faintly discernible connection between Morong Yu and the He-Tu and the Luo Shu suddenly strengthened countless times. Following which, He-Chu's voice sounded in his mind. "Young master," Morong Yu was instantly excited. He did not even have the time to check how much stronger he had become after this breakthrough. With a thought, he had already entered the He-Chu Luo Shu world. He-Chu Luo Shu was still the same as before. It was boundless and endless. However, Morong Yu was shocked to discover that although He-Chu Luo Shu did not seem to have changed, it had undergone an earth-shattering transformation. The landscape was exactly the same as before, but the environment had changed. Why is this place the same as the divine world? The elemental energy of heaven and earth is actually elemental energy? Morong Yu was a little surprised. One had to know that when he was in the immortal world, He-Chu Luoshu's environment did not change. It was the same as the cultivation world. It was not filled with immortal spiritual energy like the immortal world. Now, it was like a small divine world. The elemental energy here was even denser than the primal desolation continent. Although it was not as good as the dream desolation continent, it was not bad. It was suitable for ordinary people to cultivate. Moreover, Morong Yu could feel that He-Chu Luoshu's space was billions of times stronger than when he was in the immortal world. When he punched out, there was not even a layer of ripple in the void. It was even more impossible for the void to be destroyed by a punch. This change is too big. What the hell happened? Morong Yu's heart stirred, and he immediately pulled He-Chu over. When He-Chu appeared beside him, Morong Yu only glanced at He-Chu, and then he was shocked. "He-Chu, your strength is actually higher than mine? What realm are you at?" "Heavenly King," He-Chu said faintly, and then, Morong Yu staggered and almost fell down. "This is not fair. I fought for my life in the divine world to reach the true God realm, but you did nothing and you've already reached the Heavenly King realm." Morong Yu was speechless. However, he wasn't jealous or anything. It was better for He-Chu to become stronger. It would be best if he reached the Heavenly Emperor realm or something. That would only be good for him. Suddenly, Morong Yu's heart stirred and he looked at He-Chu. "Aren't you about to recover to your peak condition? Tell me, who is War God's enemy? I should be qualified to know now, right? Recover to peak condition? You're still far from it. As for the previous master's enemy, with your current strength, it won't do you any good to know," He-Chu said faintly. I'm already in the true God realm. Even if war god's enemy is a heavenly venerable, I should be qualified to know now, right? When you're strong enough, I'll naturally tell you. It's indeed not suitable for you to know now. Hichu continued, but he did not tell Morongyu. Could there be an even stronger existence above the heavenly venerable? Morongyu pondered, and he did not dwell on this matter. He asked again, what happened all these years? Why can't I contact you? Hichu Luoshu is leveling up. When you ascended to the God world, Hichu Luoshu started to level up. It's connected with the God lattice. As you can see, Hichu Luoshu is about the same as the God world now. As you become stronger, Hichu Luoshu's space will become firmer, and the God elemental energy will become denser. It's more suitable for cultivation. How long does it take to level up? Why can I only contact him after my primal God lattice breaks through? Morongyu asked, puzzled. Hichu Luoshu's level up is directly related to your primal God lattice. The stronger the primal God lattice, the stronger Hichu Luoshu will be. If your primal God lattice is unable to step into the true God realm, you will never be able to contact Hichu Luoshu. What if I didn't condense the primal God lattice? Then wouldn't I never be able to contact Hichu Luoshu? Morongyu frowned and asked. That's exactly the case. However, you have a primal celestial body, and you cultivate the primal celestial body record, so you will definitely be able to condense the primal God lattice. However, you were actually able to condense the spatial God lattice and the lightning divinity. A total of 3 God lattices. This is truly unprecedented. Hichu couldn't help but exclaim. It should be unprecedented. Morongyu chuckled. As they were speaking, Morongyu intentionally sensed the transfer array that he set up. He discovered that he could still sense it. In other words, he could finally transfer through Hichu Luoshu. Moreover, he didn't need to worry about his storage space not being big enough. I wonder how the Tian Fa order is doing. After regaining contact with Hichu Luoshu, the Tian Fa order was once again opened to Morongyu. With a thought, he arrived at the Tian Fa order's world. Butler Tian immediately appeared in front of Morongyu. Young master, do you want to ask why you weren't able to contact the Tian Fa order all these years? Actually, this is related to Hichu Luoshu. Following Butler Tian's explanation, Morongyu was rather shocked. Once again, he recognized how powerful Hichu Luoshu was. In reality, the Tian Fa order didn't level up like Hichu Luoshu. However, because the Tian Fa order was inside Hichu Luoshu, when Hichu Luoshu leveled up, the Tian Fa order was actually blocked. What was the Tian Fa order? That was something that was personally created by heaven, and it was extremely powerful. Hichu Luoshu was even able to block such an existence. It was truly powerful. However, what disappointed Morongyu was that there weren't any changes to the Tian Fa order. There weren't any changes at all. The Tian Fa world was still the same as before. The strongest person inside was only in the quasi-god stage. There were only things like immortal veins. However, what made Morongyu gratified was that the Tian Fa order could still be obtained by killing villains to exchange for god pills, god medicines, and even increase one's cultivation. However, the required number of star points would be even more terrifying, so much so that it made one's hair stand on end. Chapter 863. The Tian Fa token was the same as before. This also prevented Morongyu from obtaining a large number of divine veins from the Tian Fa world, which was close to cheating. In the future, if Morongyu wanted to obtain resources, he could only rely on him. Although this made him a little unhappy, this was a normal situation. Otherwise, if he had to obtain all kinds of resources from the Tian Fa world like before, Morongyu would inadvertently lose his will to fight. Therefore, although Morongyu felt a little regretful, he quickly put it aside. Now that Hichu Luoshu had returned, it was already a great thing. At least, there was a huge space and he could teleport. Most importantly, if he saw something good in the future, he would no longer have to worry about the storage ring being too small. Rumble, just at this moment, a powerful aura swept out and swept across the entire world. Murong Yu frowned slightly. His spiritual consciousness quickly withdrew from the Tian Fa token and returned to the dragon's nest. Ha ha ha! This handsome guy has finally broken through to the heavenly god realm. As soon as Murong Yu opened his eyes, he saw a violent, powerful, and unstable aura emanating from Fan Tong. At this moment, he was laughing wildly with his hands on his hips. This guy was too complacent. Murong Yu almost covered his eyes with his hands and pretended not to know this guy. It was too embarrassing. Fortunately, there was no one else here. Otherwise, Murong Yu would definitely say that he did not know this guy. He could not afford to lose face like this. After half a day, Fan Tong finally stopped laughing. Instead, he looked at Murong Yu with battle intent. "Brother, let's spar?" Murong Yu nodded with a smile on his face. Then, he grabbed at the air and the long spear that was at the level of a divine artifact appeared in his hand. "Come on, let me test your strength." Fan Tong staggered and almost fell to the ground. He did not forget that not long ago in the Xianxing city, Murong Yu was able to activate the power of this divine artifact and kill a heavenly god. That was a heavenly god. With a slap, even 1,000 heavenly gods would be killed. Even if Murong Yu did not fully activate the power of the divine artifact, it was enough to kill Fan Tong, who had just reached the heavenly god realm. "I just remembered that I have just broken through and my power is not stable. I will go and consolidate my cultivation first." Fan Tong smiled embarrassedly. His body flashed and he quickly disappeared in front of Murong Yu. Murong Yu smiled and withdrew his body into his dantian. Then, he took out the He Tu and Luo Shu, which floated above his head. Streams of power fell down and enveloped his entire person. Aura isolation. The Heavenly King stage Draconic Beast's aura had no effect on Murong Yu. One had to admit that the Hichu Luoshu was strong. Actually, Murong Yu did not want to fight with Fan Tong. Although Fan Tong's fighting strength was also very strong, Murong Yu's 3 godheads had already reached the true god realm. If all 3 godheads were to explode, he could easily defeat Fan Tong. This was the reason why he did not want to fight with Fan Tong. It was not that he was afraid of hurting Fan Tong. It was completely unnecessary. "Hichu, can you keep this dragon into the Hichu Luoshu?" Murong Yu communicated with Hichu in his mind. "Yes, but young master, you have to enter the Hichu Luoshu first. Otherwise, the dragon's aura will kill you the moment it is collected." Hichu replied. Murong Yu's face darkened. Was Hichu looking down on him? However, it did not matter. He would surpass this dragon sooner or later. Immediately, he entered the Hichu Luoshu world. The moment he entered the Hichu Luoshu expanded with the wind. In an instant it covered the entire sky. Then, under Hichu's control, a huge suction force acted on the dragon's corpse. With a swoosh, the dragon's huge body disappeared on the spot. It had been collected into the Hichu Luoshu world. So much dragon meat. When Jiqing and the others ascend, they can refine this dragon meat and quickly condense their godheads, and quickly increase their cultivation. Murong Yu came to the dragon's side with a smile. In the Hichu Luoshu world, Murong Yu was the master. Not to mention the Heavenly King Realm Dragon Beast's aura, even the Heavenly Emperor Realm Dragon Beast's aura had no effect on Murong Yu. This was because as soon as they entered the Hichu Luoshu, they would be suppressed by the Hichu Luoshu. Even when they were not dead, it would be the same, let alone when they were dead. It's a pity that although the dragon meat contains great power, it has little effect on me. It is useless. Murong Yu had 3 godheads. The power required for each godhead was not ordinary. Moreover, the power required was too great. If he refined the entire dragon beast, he might be able to increase his cultivation level. However, it would be too wasteful. It would be better to give it to the people who would ascend after Shenzhen. Now, if Murongyu wanted to increase his strength quickly, he could only find a huge amount of power. For example, the lightning pool in the Bloody Hands mansion. In addition to this power, he had to find more divine veins, chaos divine veins, and other heaven and earth treasures that contained great power. However, there were simply too few of them. The ones that could be discovered had already been discovered by others. With the dragon beast meat, even if I did not ascend to the god realm, I can condense a divine body in the immortal world and condense godhead. After becoming a god, I will have a longer lifespan. And I will find a time to go back to the immortal world. Anyway, it is not so easy to conquer a place in the god realm. Murongyu frowned slightly. He wanted to take down the heavenly Tao sect. With this little strength, it was simply a fool's dream. In fact, Murongyu had another way, and that was to bring Shenzhen's people to Hichu Luoshu. After all, the divine origin qi in Hichu Luoshu was very rich and suitable for ordinary people to cultivate. However, Hichu Luoshu followed Murongyu. Murongyu was destined to continue to take risks, and there were too many enemies. If Hichu Luoshu was taken by the enemy, or lost in some dangerous place, Murongyu would not be doing them well, but harming them. Roar, roar, roar. At this time, waves of angry roars were constantly heard, and a powerful aura was rapidly approaching. These must be the monsters in the nearby area. After discovering that the dragon beast's aura had disappeared, they wanted to come and see the situation, or even snatch the territory. Hichu, show your heavenly king realm aura and scare these monsters away. Hichu quickly contacted Hichu. Immediately, Hichu burst out a powerful aura, soaring into the sky and sweeping across the land. Although it was not as violent and tyrannical as the dragon beast's aura, but it was not weak. Immediately, those demonic beasts stopped in their tracks. After letting out a few angry roars, they left unwillingly. They must have thought that this place had been occupied by other monsters. Moreover, the aura of this monster was not weak. The other monsters thought that there was no need to fight to the death, so they would not come over for the time being. In the following days, Murongyu did not continue to refine the dragon beast's meat. Instead, he studied the dragon beast's giant egg. The dragon beast was actually considered to be part of the primordial dragon clan. It was just that the dragon clan's bloodline was too low and was not recognized by the dragon clan. In the process of refining the dragon beast's meat, Murongyu also felt that there was a huge gap between the dragon beast's bloodline and that drop of dragon blood. I wonder if that drop of dragon blood essence will improve the bloodline of the little dragon beast? Murongyu suddenly had this thought in his mind. If people knew that he wanted to give an incomparably precious drop of dragon blood to a dragon beast that had not been born yet, how many people would fight Murongyu to the death? If the dragon blood could improve the dragon beast's bloodline and let it become a true dragon clan, then it would obtain the inheritance of the black dragon. Once it grew up, it would definitely be a top expert in the divine realm. This account is worth it. Murongyu thought for a while and decided. If it was not for the fact that the dragon beast had not been born yet, he was afraid that he would have immediately given the dragon blood to the dragon beast. Then where is the dragon beast's corpse? A few days later, Fan Tong woke up from his closed-door cultivation. His cultivation had stabilized and his aura had also stabilized. Not long after, when he came out, he found that the dragon beast was gone. He could not help but be shocked. If he did not see Murongyu standing in front of him safe and sound, he would have thought that the dragon beast's corpse and Murongyu had been snatched away by a strong expert or a powerful demonic beast. Which bastard took the dragon beast's meat away? Before Murongyu could speak, Fan Tong roared with a murderous aura. How dare you steal my things? See if I don't kill this bastard. Brother, who is it? Fan Tong cursed, but did not notice that Murong Yu's eyes were emitting a dangerous aura. Hee, you guys are really here. Before Murong Yu could speak, he heard a light laughter from afar. Looking towards the direction of the sound, Murong Yu and Fan Tong saw that not far away, a group of more than 10 people were flying towards them. It was a young girl who looked to be in her 20s. She was wearing revealing clothes, revealing her breasts, but her figure was very hot. In addition to her attire, the few young men beside her kept looking at her. In addition to this young girl and those young men, there were also a few middle-aged men and young men. All of them had surging chi and blood, and their auras were soaring to the sky. Their strength was not weak at all. Soon, this group of people landed in the cave and appeared in front of Murong Yu and Fan Tong. Who are you? Fan Tong frowned slightly, glanced at the young girl and said indifferently, How dare you not kneel and greet Miss Xian Yu when you see her? A young man stepped forward and shouted coldly at Murong Yu and Fan Tong. Chapter 864. You're that B***TCH who has thousands of men pressing her down? When the young man shouted coldly, Fan Tong was so frightened that he took a step back and cried out involuntarily. Hearing Fan Tong's words, Murong Yu and Xian Yu's faces darkened. Fan Tong was too direct. How dare you? As expected, before Fan Tong could finish his words, Xian Yu's face exploded with killing intent. You're courting death. The young men beside her, who should be Xian Yu's gigolos, were enraged and looked at Fan Tong with killing intent. Some of them even took large strides forward and closed in on Fan Tong. How dare you insult Miss Xian Yu? You deserve to die. One of the young men looked at Fan Tong with killing intent. His voice was cold and filled with killing intent. Sometimes people's thoughts were extremely strange. Just like Xian Yu, who had thousands of gigolos and was famous for being a slut in Xianxing City. Slut. Everyone knew this. However, Xian Yu did not want others to talk about her like this. If she found out that people were talking about her as a slut, etc., she would use the power in her hands to kill all of these people. A slut's chastity was even worse than this. Don't kill him. Just take him down. I want to have a taste of him. At this time, Xian Yu finally spoke. Her voice was filled with charm. However, the words she said made Murong Yu and Fan Tong feel extremely disgusted. Damn it, you B***TCH. Slut? Slut. Bitch. You want to play with this young master? You must be blind. Fan Tong immediately cursed and his face turned red. Who was he? As long as he said something and expressed his thoughts, there would be countless big forces advancing and many pure and innocent girls would be willing to come over. For a slut like her who had thousands of men pressing her down, it would be bad luck to be close to him. Of course, Murong Yu and Fan Tong, especially Murong Yu, did not look down on prostitute. Some people were forced by life, while others had to endure humiliation for various reasons. Even if they were prostitutes, Murong Yu would not look down on them, nor would he despise their profession. However, some people were willing to lower themselves. For example, a woman like Xian Yu, who had a myriad of men, was truly worthy of contempt and disdain. Xian Yu's father was the city lord of Xianxing City. He was a powerful force even in the Dream Wilderness mainland. What did Miss Xian Yu not have? Yet, she was willing to lower herself like this. How could others think highly of her? Damn it! The people around Xian Yu were all enraged. One of the young men could not hold back his killing intent. He jumped out and charged towards Fan Tong. A mere early-stage heavenly deity dares to be so impudent? You're simply courting death. The young man who attacked was very powerful. He was a late-stage heavenly god. He was 2 stages higher than Fan Tong. All of you are trash. Every single one of you is good stuff. You're wasting resources in this world. Today, I'll get rid of all of you. Fan Tong's face was gloomy and murderous. In a flash, he turned into a ray of light and charged towards the young man. The young man sneered and threw out a punch. In his mind, Fan Tong was only an early-stage heavenly god. There was a gap of 2 stages between them. How could Fan Tong be a match for him? However, the young man's face changed very quickly. This was because an intense aura of death rose in his heart. At the same time, an illusory figure appeared out of thin air. An aura that surpassed that of a heavenly god erupted. It was extremely terrifying. Bang! Before the young man could react, the illusory figure had already slammed into his body. After a loud bang, the young man was turned into a cloud of blood mist. Even his soul was turned into dust. He couldn't be more dead. A late-stage heavenly god's godhead. How's that? Fan Tong reached out and grabbed the godhead left behind by the young man. He kept it in his storage ring. At this moment, Xian Yu and the rest finally saw what the illusory figure was. It was a long whip. It's at least a supreme-grade god weapon. It might even be a peerless-grade god weapon. One of the old men behind Xian Yu suddenly exclaimed. He was excited and his face was filled with greed. A peerless-grade god weapon? Everyone could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Their eyes were filled with greed as they looked at Fan Tong. A peerless-grade god weapon. Even Xian Xing, the city lord of Xian Xing City, didn't have such a weapon. However, a mere heavenly god had one? Moreover, it wasn't just Fan Tong who had one. The person beside him also had one. It's really a peerless-grade god weapon? Even Xian Yu couldn't stay calm. Her eyes were filled with greed and lust as she looked at Fan Tong and the young man. The gazes of the others were still all right. However, Xian Yu's gaze was like a pervert looking at an innocent girl. Fan Tong couldn't help but feel disgusted. It's at least a supreme-grade god weapon. Miss, if our Xian Xing City could get our hands on this supreme-grade god weapon, our strength would skyrocket. Moreover, this lad should have a supreme-grade god weapon on him as well. The old man who exclaimed earlier hurriedly added. If we can take them down, our Xian Xing City would have 2 more supreme-grade god weapons. Xian Yu's eyes shone brightly. She then pointed at Morong Yu and said, Kill him and take the other one down. Don't kill him. Morong Yu's weak heart was immediately hurt. Was he being looked down upon by Xian Yu? He wasn't ugly, right? From now on, Morong Yu believed that there weren't only perverts in this world. There were women as well. Hold on. I'm curious. How did you guys find this place? Seeing that the old men were about to attack, Morong Yu suddenly asked. Of course it's because of the dragon beast. However, I didn't see the dragon beast, but I saw you guys. You guys have given me a surprise. Xian Yu laughed. Perhaps she thought that Morong Yu was dead, so she said it out loud? What a bunch of trash. It took you a few decades to find this place. A bunch of trash. The dragon beast meat was already in our stomach. Fan Tong said disdainfully. Then, he was stunned. It seemed that he didn't know where the dragon beast's corpse went. A supreme-grade god weapon is worth billions of dragon beasts. What are you waiting for? Xian Yu shouted coldly. Immediately, an old man and a middle-aged man stepped forward from the group of people behind her. They were very strong. Even if they weren't at the Heavenly King realm, they were still at the Heavenly Monarch realm. You guys are courting death. Fan Tong was furious. He was about to use his trump card to kill these people. However, at this moment, Morong Yu walked up to him and gave him a meaningful glance. I don't need to know your trump card. I'll deal with these people. Fan Tong stared at Morong Yu angrily. You can deal with them? Morong Yu smiled faintly. He turned to Xian Yu and said slowly, Before you guys make a move, I suggest you guys think twice. If you guys really do make a move, I can guarantee that you won't be the only ones to die. Xian Xing and the entire Xian Xing City will become our enemy. I don't mind killing all of you in one fell swoop. Ha ha, this is too funny. Who do you think you are? You're just a true god. So what if you have a supreme-grade god weapon? You're still a piece of trash. Is that so? Then why don't you come out and let's fight one-on-one? I'll only use one hand. Murong Yu looked at the young man and smiled faintly. The young man's smile froze. Murong Yu had a supreme-grade god weapon. If he really dared to make a move, he would definitely be killed by Murong Yu. Hence, he was terrified. Trash, Xian Yu said in disdain. Seeing that the two of them were still closing in, Xian Yu had no intention of stopping. Murong Yu shook his head. He turned to Fan Tong and said, "Take out your shield." Fan Tong was suspicious. He did not know what Murong Yu was up to. However, he still took out his shield. After all, he did not take Xian Yu and the rest seriously. Murong Yu smiled and said, "Enjoy your last days." As he spoke, he went into Fan Tong's shield. At this moment, Xian Yu felt uneasy. However, before she could react, a huge object with a terrifying aura descended from the sky. Bang! 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 Immediately, the youths beside Xian Yu, the cultivators who had not reached the Heavenly King stage, all exploded at the same time. This included the two heavenly monarchs who were closing in on Murong Yu and Xian Yu. They were also turned into blood mist by the terrifying aura. Only the two Heavenly King realm cultivators were not killed. However, they spat out blood from the terrifying aura. It was obvious that they were injured. However, Xian Yu also had a trump card. The moment the terrifying pressure appeared, a dazzling light burst out from her body. A shield appeared on the surface of her body, firmly protecting her and resisting the terrifying pressure from the outside. Bang! At this moment, the huge object finally fell to the ground. Its huge body smashed a huge crater in the ground, causing the surrounding ground to crack. It was as if there was a huge earthquake. Dragon Beast! Other than Murong Yu, the rest of the people could not help but exclaim. However, Fan Tong was shocked. Xian Yu and the rest were terrified. "Miss, let's go." The two Heavenly King realm cultivators from Xian Xing City rushed up and grabbed Xian Yu. Their bodies rose into the air and flew into the distance. "I, Xian Yu, will remember the two of you. One day, I will personally kill all of you." An incomparably resentful voice sounded, but the person had already disappeared. Murong Yu shook his head and sighed. The dragon beast is still a corpse. Otherwise, we could have killed them all. Chapter 865. You were the one who kept the dragon beast's corpse? When the dragon beast's corpse fell from the sky, Fan Tong was shocked. Then, only after Mystic Moon left with harsh words did Fan Tong react. He looked at Murong Yu in surprise. He was really surprised. One had to know that the dragon beast's body was so big, even his storage ring couldn't fit it. Moreover, Murong Yu couldn't store this dragon beast's corpse previously. But why was Murong Yu able to store this dragon beast's corpse all of a sudden? Could it be that some innate magical ability had awakened after he broke through? The kind that carried a huge space with him? But, weren't innate magical abilities only possessed by divine beasts or demons? How could humans have them? Fan Tong looked at Murong Yu in confusion, only to discover that Murong Yu's eyes started to flash with a dangerous glint. "Fan Tong, what did you say before?" Fan Tong was stunned. "I didn't say anything." "Oh right, who am I?" "You were the one who kept this dragon beast's corpse?" "You don't have to answer, because I've already confirmed that you were the one who took away the dragon beast's corpse." Hearing this, the dangerous glint in Murong Yu's eyes didn't weaken. Instead, it became even brighter. "I'm talking about what you said before Mystic Moon and the others appeared." Fan Tong was stunned at that moment. He pretended to be stupid and said, "Did I say anything? I didn't, right? I don't remember what I said." "Do you remember what I said?" Murong Yu was speechless. This Fan Tong was really realistic when he pretended to be stupid. Of course, he didn't really want to argue with Fan Tong. Therefore, with a wave of his hand, he summoned the Hichu Luoshu and kept the dragon beast's corpse. Now, not only could the dragon beast's corpse be used as food, it had also become Su Hao's bodyguard. Once he encountered experts below the Heavenly King realm, As long as he released the dragon beast's corpse, Morongyu could kill the other party without even needing to do anything. They were more reliable and powerful than divine artifact. What level is this divine artifact? Even the corpse of a dragon beast could be stored inside. Brother, don't ever expose yourself in front of others again. Otherwise, you'll be in big trouble. Looking at Hichu Luoshu, Fan Tong didn't have any greed in his eyes. Instead, he warned Morongyu. In fact, it wasn't as if there weren't people in the God realm who had extremely large storage spaces. However, those divine artifacts were in the hands of those experts. At the very least, he had the ability to self-destruct. For example, with Morongyu's current strength as a true god, once Hichu Luoshu was exposed, he would not be able to protect himself. Morongyu shook his head and smiled bitterly in his heart. Hichu Luoshu had already been exposed. At the very least, the Immortal Palace and the Divine Union knew about it. It was just that none of them had been exposed. However, if Morongyu was discovered by them, they would definitely attack Morongyu. Furthermore, if Fan Tong knew about the situation inside Hichu Luoshu, he would definitely be tempted. The entire deity realm would probably make a move against Morongyu. Of course I know. Where are we going now? Morongyu asked. Why don't we go to Xianxing City? Motherf asterisk Ker, whenever I think of that B asterisk tch, I'm pissed. She actually wanted to capture me and sully my pure body. I really want to slap her to death. Fan Tong said angrily. It was obvious that he hated Xianyu. However, his words caused Morongyu's face to darken. Pure and clean? Sully? Morongyu looked at Fan Tong suspiciously. I only see a withered willow body. Fan Tong's face darkened. I'm still a virgin, Morongyu nodded and said. No wonder. Actually, Xianyu is quite pretty. She can take your virginity. Fan Tong's face darkened even more. I plan to make a trip back to Heavenly Dao Sect. Where are you going? Morongyu actually wanted to go stone gambling to play, because he could see the things inside the divine stones. He would definitely make a huge profit if he went stone gambling. However, they couldn't go to Mysterious Star City now. Otherwise, they would be walking right into a trap. If he really forced Fan Tong into a corner, this fellow would invite out his father's phantom. With a slap, the entire Mysterious Star City would probably be razed to the ground. Moreover, Su Hao had left Heavenly Dao Sect for a long time. He needed to go back and take a look. Although the Heavenly Dao Sect had no effect on his cultivation. But there was still Yang Yun in the Heavenly Dao Sect. This woman had followed him in the primordial wasteland continent. He couldn't ignore her. And that Lingling, the ball of power sealed in her body, was very dangerous. Morongyu had promised to expel it for her, so he naturally wanted to go back and take a look. Moreover, the most important thing was that he felt that the ball of power sealed in Lingling's body should be a fortuitous opportunity for him. If he could refine that ball of power, his strength would definitely skyrocket. Anyway, I have nowhere to go. I'll go with you to Heavenly Dao Sect to take a look. Thus, the two of them flew and used teleportation arrays. After a few years, they finally returned to Heavenly Dao Sect. Of course, Morongyu didn't forget to leave behind a teleportation jade slip along the way. From then on, he would be able to teleport over in an instant with just a thought from Hichu Luoshu. In Heavenly Dao Sect, Yang Yun walked on the road with a lonely expression. She was dispirited and her eyes were dim. Originally, she thought that after joining Heavenly Dao Sect, even if she was only an outer sect disciple, with her hard work and aptitude, as well as the Heavenly Dao Sect's resources, it would be time for her to soar into the sky. However, in the past few decades she had been very down and out. Originally, in the sect, the benefits of outer sect disciples were 10 low-grade divine crystals and 1 divine essence pill per month. However, since Yang Yun joined Heavenly Dao Sect, she could only get 1 low-grade divine crystal per month. As for the divine essence pill, she had never seen it before. In the beginning, Yang Yun was very angry, and she didn't know the reason. She had resisted, but she was just an outer sect disciple. How powerful could she be? She couldn't make any waves at all. In the end, she found out that it was all because of Murongyu. Murongyu had offended the Heavenly Alliance. However, in the end, he left Heavenly Dao sect and no one knew where he was. The people of Heavenly Alliance couldn't find Murongyu, so they could only make trouble for Yang Yun. In fact, in the beginning, the people of Heavenly Alliance had invited Yang Yun to join Heavenly Alliance. However, they were rejected by Yang Yun. From then on, the people of Heavenly Alliance kept making trouble for her. Even the people of Skywave Prefecture in Heavenly Dao sect drew a clear line with her. This made Yang Yun disheartened for a while. She once wanted to leave Heavenly Dao sect. However, when she couldn't hold on any longer, Murongyu's figure would appear in her mind. Even though the people of Heavenly Alliance made things difficult for her, she always believed in her feelings. She always believed that Murongyu would soar to the sky. TSK, isn't this junior sister Yang Yun? I heard that you got another lower-grade divine crystal this month? A group of people blocked Yang Yun's way. A young man even looked at Yang Yun and sneered. Yang Yun glanced at these people indifferently. A touch of hatred flashed in her eyes. Get out of my way! You want to go through here? Okay, leave a lower-grade divine crystal as the toll. The young man kept looking at Yang Yun's beautiful figure with lustful eyes and said with a cold smile, "Don't even think about it." The hatred in Yang Yun's eyes became more intense. She turned around and was about to bypass them. However, in a flash, these people blocked Yang Yun's path again. Hand over your divine crystal. Otherwise, you don't have to go through here today. TSK, junior sister Yang Yun has a good figure. It should be fun to play with. How about this? It's fine if you don't want to hand over your divine crystal. As long as you follow me, I'll give you 2 lower-grade divine crystals. What do you think? As he spoke, he had already walked towards Yang Yun. Halfway through, he had already stretched out his hand and grabbed Yang Yun's towering chest. Slap! Yang Yun was enraged. He slapped the man's face fiercely. The huge force sent the man flying. With her late true god cultivation, it was easy for her to slap the man who was only an early true god. Bitch, how dare you hit me? Damn it, if I don't *CK you to death today, I swear I'm not a human. Because Yang Yun didn't go all out, she only sent the man flying. It didn't cause any fatal injuries to him. Brothers, take down this bitch. Today it's her turn. Then sell her to the brothel. The man rushed forward and threw a punch at Yang Yun. Seeing this person attack, the other men also attacked Yang Yun with lewd smiles. Yang Yun's strength wasn't bad. However, there were some people who were not inferior to her. There was even a true god expert, who was the young man who spoke at the beginning. Suppress. The young man sneered and sent out a palm to suppress Yang Yun. With a bang sound, Yang Yun was directly sent flying. Not everyone was like Murongyu, who could kill enemies of a higher realm. Although Yang Yun's strength wasn't bad, the gap between her and a true god was too big. She was injured by the other party in a single move. You guys have fun. Remember, you can have fun, but don't kill her. The young man retracted his hand and said indifferently. Hearing that, the others were overjoyed and pounced on Yang Yun. At this moment, Yang Yun's strength was suppressed. She wanted to escape, but there was nowhere to run. She didn't have the ability to escape. Even if I die, I won't let these people defile my body. Yang Yun was in despair. She was about to self-destruct. However, at this moment, the man's figure appeared in her mind again. It was Murongyu's figure. Suddenly, Yang Yun shook his head as a look of disbelief flashed across his face. She really saw Murongyu's figure. Is this an illusion? Yang Yun shook her head, trying to wake herself up. However, Murongyu's figure was getting closer and closer. Soon, he was in front of her. Chapter 866. Yang Yun wasn't hallucinating. The figure that she saw flying over was Morong Yu. In fact, Morong Yu and Fan Tong had already arrived and saw the scene of Yang Yun being humiliated. Morong Yu was famous for being protective of his own people. He was generous and protective of his own people. According to his character, if it was any one of Shengzhen's people, he would have already walked out and killed them with a punch. However, although Yang Yun had been following him since the Yuan wasteland continent, in Morong Yu's heart, Yang Yun wasn't considered as one of his people. He didn't come out immediately because he wanted to see if Yang Yun would give in or change her mind. In fact, Morong Yu had already expected that Yang Yun would be suppressed by the Heaven Alliance in the Tian Dao sect. Morong Yu had left for dozens of years, and he might have the intention to test Yang Yun. When he saw that Yang Yun would rather die than give in, Morong Yu finally got a satisfactory answer. However, Yang Yun didn't expect that because of her persistence, she would finally become one of Morong Yu's people. She wasn't far from being able to soar to the sky. Morong Yu walked out from the dark and waved his hand to pull Yang Yun over. Then, the life force rushed into Yang Yun's body. Before Yang Yun could react, all the injuries she had received before had already healed. Moreover, her strength seemed to have increased. "How dare you touch my people? You're courting death." Morong Yu looked indifferent as his eyes swept across the faces of those people. His eyebrows were full of killing intent. "Courting death? How dare you meddle in the affairs of the Heaven Alliance? Are you tired of living?" A late-stage true god looked at Morong Yu and sneered. His body swayed and he stretched out his big hand to punch Morong Yu's face. "These guys are really tired of living." Fan Tong walked out from the shadows. When he saw that this fellow actually dared to attack Morong Yu, he could not help but shake his head and laugh. Through these years of interaction, Fan Tong already had some understanding of Morong Yu. Morong Yu even dared to kill people who were several realms stronger than him. How could he possibly be afraid of trash like this? At the same time, Fan Tong also knew. The reason why Morong Yu dared to make a move without any scruples was not because of his existence. Nor was it because of the dragon carcasses in the Hichu Luoshu world. With Fan Tong's ability, of course, he still couldn't beat Morong Yu. However, if Fan Tong were to use his life-saving trump card, it would be more than enough to destroy the Heavenly Dao sect. However, Morong Yu did not rely on this. Even if Fan Tong did not follow and did not have the dragon carcasses, he still dared to kill these people. "All of you kneel down," Morong Yu shouted coldly. His big hand suddenly stretched out, 5 fingers spread out, and then pressed down fiercely. Plop! Plop! A strong force descended from the sky. Suddenly, the people nearby, except for Morong Yu and the other two, were all forced to kneel on the ground. Especially the expert in the true god realm. At this moment, he was even more terrified. Morong Yu was able to directly suppress him. Just how strong was he? At least the late true god realm. At this moment, Yang Yun finally came to his senses. She looked at Morong Yu with a face of shock. Her heart was incomparably shocked. She still remembered that when she first met Morong Yu was only in the middle true god realm. His realm was far inferior to her. However, how many years had it been? Morong Yu's power was already so terrifying that he could suppress a real god with one hand. "Morong Yu, what realm has your power reached?" Yang Yun was shocked, but in the end she could not help but ask. "Middle true god realm." Morong Yu did not speak, but Fan Tong answered. "Middle true god realm?" Yang Yun was stunned. In a few decades, he had increased by 3 small realms, and he had even crossed over a big realm. At this moment, Yang Yun's outlook on life was shattered. She looked at Morong Yu as if she was looking at a monster. "All right, don't be shocked. From the time you chose to follow me, I told you that you would not regret it." Morong Yu smiled faintly at Yang Yun, then looked at the few people from Heaven Alliance who were kneeling on the ground. Under Morong Yu's strong suppression, These people were all prostrating on the ground, including the real God. Whether these people live or die, it's up to you to decide, Morong Yu said faintly. There was a flash of ruthlessness in Yang Yun's eyes. If it wasn't for Morong Yu's timely return, she would have already died. For those who wanted to kill her, killing intent flashed across Yang Yun's face. Bang! 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 Yang Yun did not hesitate. She took a few steps forward, unleashed her power, and killed the people in true God realm with a palm strike. As for the last real God, Yang Yun was not being merciful and sparing his life. In actual fact, it was because she was unable to kill him with her current power. Hence, she looked at Morong Yu. Morong Yu nodded and pointed at the body of the real God. Suddenly, the real God's realm began to drop rapidly, from real God realm to late true God, middle true God, and then there was no more then. He was killed by Yang Yun. From the beginning until the end, these people could not even say a word. In fact, it was not that they did not want to say anything, but they were suppressed by Morong Yu and could not speak at all. Decisive in handling matters, ruthless and merciless. I like it. However, Beauty, if you had hesitated for a moment, I'm afraid your score in Morong Yu's heart would have dropped by a lot. However, Morong Yu seems to be very satisfied with you. Fan Tong walked over and said to Yang Yun with a smile. Morong Yu was indeed very satisfied. Yang Yun had the demeanor of a general and could do great things. She was a talent that Morong Yu needed. If she hesitated or did not kill those people, even if Morong Yu accepted her, she would only be one of Morong Yu's many subordinates. Morong Yu would not put her in an important position. Yang Yun was startled. She looked at Morong Yu's calm face and saw a hint of admiration in Morong Yu's eyes. Isn't the Heavenly Alliance the most powerful force in the Heavenly Tao sect? How come there are only these trash? After praising Yang Yun, Fan Tong was somewhat unhappy. In fact, what he hated the most was this kind of person who enjoyed the resources of the sect, but formed a clique to increase their own strength. If the Heavenly Tao sect was his sect, he would kill this kind of person. Fan Tong, don't mess around. I have already decided on the Heavenly Tao sect. Morong Yu turned his head and warned Fan Tong. Fan Tong shrugged his shoulders. Of course I won't mess around. However, why haven't those trash from the Heavenly Alliance come yet? I can't help but want to trample these trash to death. Morong Yu rolled his eyes. After introducing Yang Yun and Fan Tong to each other, he flew towards his own courtyard. At this time, the news of Morong Yu's return to the sect quickly spread out in the Heavenly Tao sect. Did you know? That ferocious man is back? What ferocious man? It's that outer disciple who just joined the Heavenly Tao sect and left the people of the Heavenly Alliance. The ferocious man who robbed those people's storage rings. Oh, it's that guy. However, I heard that this guy not only rejected the Heavenly Alliance, but also the Human Alliance and the Earth Alliance. After disappearing for decades, this guy came back with great strength. He just killed a few disciples of the Heavenly Alliance. However, this guy's strength has increased tremendously. It's only been a few decades, but he can easily kill the experts of the true God realm. Do you think the people of the Heavenly Alliance will let him go? Would someone come knocking on his door? For a time, the Heavenly Tao sect was talking about Morong Yu. However, the person involved, Morong Yu, didn't know anything about this. At this time, he took out a low-grade holy vein and threw it to Yang Yun, saying lightly, Yang Yun, I have a general understanding of your situation. 4 decades, you have been deprived of the benefits of being an outer disciple. This low-grade holy vein is your compensation for delaying your cultivation time. Originally, Yang Yun didn't know what Morong Yu gave her. At this time, hearing Morong Yu's words, Yang Yun's body shook violently. The sealed holy vein in her hand fell to the ground. Morong Yu, this is too precious. I can't accept it. This was a holy vein. Even if it was just a low-grade holy vein, it was still extremely precious. Even if Yang Yun had been an outer disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect for 1 billion years, the benefits were far less precious than a low-grade holy vein. This is my gift to you. If you really don't want it, I will take it back. Murong Yu said lightly. Although a holy vein was precious, Murong Yu had always been generous to his own people. I want it. Yang Yun quickly took back the holy vein. She knew Murong Yu's temper. If she refused again, Murong Yu would definitely take back the holy vein. Seeing Murong Yu give a mountain range to Yang Yun without blinking, Fan Tong showed admiration in his eyes. If Murong Yu had a large number of holy veins, it was normal for him to give a holy vein to Yang Yun without batting an eyelid. However, Fan Tong knew that Murong Yu didn't have many holy veins, only a few. Even Fan Tong couldn't help but admire Murong Yu's generosity for giving it away without any hesitation. However, Fan Tong soon saw Murong Yu looking at him with a smile. What are you going to do? Fan Tong had a bad feeling in his heart. Fan Tong, you should have something like the Breakthrough Realm pill, right? Give her a few to help her break through the realm. How about it? Murong Yu said with a smile. Fan Tong didn't speak. He turned his big hand and a jade bottle appeared in his hand. There are 10 Breakthrough Realm pills inside. It is enough for you to break through. If it is not enough, you can ask me for more. Yang Yun took the Breakthrough Realm pill with a sluggish face. In her heart there was a monstrous storm. She knew that Fan Tong was not an ordinary person, but she didn't expect that he would give away such a precious pill. Chapter 867. With the Realm Break pill and the Divine Vein, Yang Yun, you should be able to break through to the Heavenly God Realm in a short amount of time. You can cultivate here, Murong Yu said, ignoring the dumbfounded Yang Yun. The dumbfounded Yang Yun nodded his head in a daze. Then, he began to cultivate. By the way, how is Ling Ling? At this moment, Murong Yu suddenly asked. Yang Yun was stunned and then said with a wry smile, I don't have much contact with her. But her situation is similar to mine. Also, many people are saying that she is your woman. Murong Yu's face darkened and couldn't help but think of the scene when he participated in the Tiandao sect trial. At that time, because he wanted to check the power sealed in Ling Ling's body, Murong Yu and Ling Ling were very intimate. Many people saw it. It was normal for others to misunderstand that Ling Ling was his woman. Yang Yun is not your woman, but he is being suppressed by the Heaven Alliance. That Ling Ling is your woman, I'm afraid her situation is even more miserable. Fan Tong said with a smile. But his smile was somewhat unpleasant. He really didn't like the Heaven Alliance people. Murong Yu frowned and stared at Murong Yu. Ling Ling is not my woman. After a pause, he continued. But you're right, Ling Ling's situation is worse than Yang Yun's. Let's go and take a look. Like Murong Yu and others, Ling Ling was only an outer sect disciple of the Tiandao sect. Her courtyard was not very far from Murong Yu's side, but it was not close either. After setting up a few restrictions in the courtyard to prevent people from disturbing Yang Yun, Murong Yu and Fan Tong flew towards Ling Ling. Whether it was in the primordial continent or the dream wilderness, Ling Ling was like an iceberg that kept people at a distance. Of course, because of Ling Ling's beauty, there were also people who were not afraid of death. However, even in the Tiandao sect, Ling Ling did not change her way of doing things in the primordial continent. If any man dared to harass her, she would attack him directly, although she didn't dare to kill anyone in the natural law school. However, it was still possible to cripple these people. Although they were all true gods, their realms weren't low. Even if their bodies were destroyed, they could still regrow it. However, it would consume their divine power to heal their bodies. Moreover, being beaten up was secondary. The most important thing was that they had failed to woo Ling Ling and had been beaten up instead. How embarrassing! Therefore, after a period of time, not many people came to Ling Ling's place. But today, another group of people came to the courtyard. Scram! Ling Ling's face was filled with rage as he looked at Ling Han, who was standing in front of him. His eyes were filled with killing intent, and he did not bother to hide the killing intent in his heart. Ling Han's expression remained unchanged as he looked at Ling Ling, but his eyes were filled with obscenity and coldness. Ling Ling, don't be so shameless. I know you're not Morong Yu, that trash's woman. But look at what you've become all these years because of him. Suppressed by the Heaven Alliance. If I'm not wrong, you only get one piece of low-grade divine crystal every month now. You don't even have one piece, right? These were all given to you by that trash, Morong Yu. But what about that trash, Morong Yu? Perhaps he's already dead outside, or perhaps you don't even exist in his heart. He's probably already forgotten that you exist. And if you follow me, not only will you not be suppressed by the Heaven Alliance, but you'll also get divine crystals and divine origin pills every month. I can also help you break through to the Heaven God tier, or even the Master God tier, because I have the breakthrough pill. As he spoke, a pill the size of a pigeon's egg appeared in Ling Han's palm. It emitted a faint medicinal fragrance. It was the breakthrough pill. Seeing the breakthrough pill, Ling Ling's eyes narrowed. Her cultivation level had been stuck at the late stage of the true God tier. However, because her accumulation of power and comprehension of cultivation level were not enough, she had not been able to break through. And if she did not have enough power, she could use divine crystals to replenish it. In terms of comprehension of cultivation level, she could also use the comprehension pill to increase her comprehension of cultivation level. However, these were both things that Ling Ling lacked the most. Outer sect disciples of the Heaven Tao only got one piece of low-grade divine crystal and one divine origin pill every month. This was not enough to break through to the next level at all. Of course, ordinary people could still accumulate enough power, because they did not have much other things, but they had a lot of time. Ordinary gods had a lifespan of a few eras. How many divine crystals would they have if they continued to live for a few eras? However, people like Ling Ling were all geniuses, and their cultivation level increased much faster than ordinary people. Moreover, they also needed divine crystals and the like during the cultivation process. If they relied on these basic benefits, it was impossible to break through to the next level at all. Of course, the Heaven Tao sect also had missions. These missions could have all kinds of treasures, pills, and divine crystals. Ling Ling also took a few missions. However, because she was suppressed by the Heaven Alliance, the missions she could take basically did not have much reward. Moreover, there were people from the Heaven Alliance causing trouble. In anger, Ling Ling did not even take any missions. Originally, the Ling Tian Mansion also had people in the Heaven Tao sect, and they were on the Earth Alliance's side. However, because of the relationship between Ling Ling and Morong Yu, and also because of Ling Ling's own refusal, she did not join the Earth Alliance. As for Ling Han, he was also an outstanding disciple of the Ling Tian Mansion. After joining the Heaven Tao sect, he was appreciated by some seniors of the Ling Tian Mansion and was put in an important position by the Earth Alliance. Originally, the Ling Tian Mansion also had people in the Heaven Tao sect, and they were on the Earth Alliance's side. However, because of the relationship between Ling Ling and Morong Yu, and also because of Ling Ling's own refusal, she did not join the Earth Alliance. As for Ling Han, he was also an outstanding disciple of the Ling Tian Mansion. After joining the Heaven Tao sect, he was appreciated by some seniors of the Ling Tian Mansion and was put in an important position by the Earth Alliance. At this time, he, who originally did not have any thoughts about Ling Ling, suddenly wanted to conquer Ling Ling and make her his woman. Or rather, Ling Han had always wanted to conquer Ling Ling under his crotch. However, he was not as strong as Ling Ling in the past. After being suppressed by Ling Ling at the beginning, he firmly suppressed the thought of conquering her in the bottom of his heart. Now, when he was in power in the Heaven Tao sect, Ling Ling was constantly being suppressed by the Heaven Alliance. Therefore, he felt that his opportunity had come. Therefore, he began to threaten and tempt, trying to conquer Ling Ling's body and mind. Get lost! Ling Ling only glanced at the breakthrough pill in Ling Han's hand, and then shouted angrily again. A cold light flashed in Ling Han's eyes, and he said, Ling Ling, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Now, even if you don't agree, you have to agree. Ling Han was finally angry. He took a step forward, and stretched out his hand to grab Ling Han. Since the threat and tempt did not work, he planned to use force. In an instant, a cold, killing intent burst out from Ling Ling's body. Her eyes shot out a cold light, and the long sword in her hand burst out a sword ray that soared into the sky. She slashed down at Ling Han. Chapter 868. Ling Han's eyes flashed with a chestnut color, and his hand shot out. Instantly, a terrifying gust of wind burst out, covering the sky and earth. The terrifying pressure surged towards Ling Ling like a tidal wave. Before the attack landed, the terrifying pressure suppressed Ling Ling. The blood and qi in Ling Ling's body surged like a raging sea. The terrifying pressure pressed down, and Ling Ling's skin felt like it was about to crack. Pung! Ling Han's hand pressed down, and directly hit Ling Han's body. Of course, he still wanted to subdue Ling Ling, so he didn't kill him. But even so, Ling Ling was sent flying, spitting out blood in the air. Ling Ling wasn't a match for Ling Han. A few decades ago, in the primordial desolate continent, you were the strongest among the younger generation of the Ling Tian mansion. My strength was far inferior to yours. And now, a few decades later, I'm a god and you're still a true god. A few decades ago, I looked up to you, and a few decades later, I looked down on you. After sending Ling Ling flying with a palm, Ling Han seemed to be very timely, and didn't continue to attack. Instead, he looked at Ling Ling and said coldly. He seemed to be venting the resentment that had been suppressed by Ling Ling for countless years. Indeed, after Ling Han became a disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect, he received a large amount of resources, and not long ago, he used the comprehension state pill to directly break through to the Heavenly God tier. It was also because of this that he ran over to forcefully subdue Ling Ling originally. He thought that after he broke through to the Heavenly God tier, coupled with the temptation of a large amount of resources, Ling Ling would definitely submit to him and become his everything. But he didn't think that Ling Ling still didn't like him. Ling Ling stood up from the ground, and reached out to wipe away the blood at the corner of his mouth. Then, he looked at Ling Han coldly with killing intent. In my eyes, you were a piece of trash in the past, and you're still a piece of trash now. You'll only be a piece of trash in the future. Piece of trash? Ling Han laughed loudly, but a tyrannical look flashed in his eyes. Today, this piece of trash will play with you. Let's see how you'll *CK this piece of trash. As he spoke, Ling Han sent a slap flying towards Ling Ling Pa. The gap between a true god and a god was like a chasm. In front of celestial gods, true gods basically did not even have time to react. Just like Ling Ling, although she knew that Ling Han was going to attack her, she didn't even have time to react before she was sent flying by Ling Han's slap. *TCH. Ling Han's large hand stretched out, and directly grabbed Ling Ling. With a hideous grin, he walked into the house. He was going to force himself on Ling Ling. Ling Ling's expression changed instantly. Her eyes were filled with endless anger. However, she quickly concealed her anger and returned to her usual cold self. Since she couldn't resist now, she wouldn't do anything about it. But that didn't mean that she would submit. Instead, she had placed all her killing intent and hatred in the depths of her heart. In fact, such people were the most terrifying. Put her down. Just as Ling Han kicked open the door of the room, a cold voice suddenly rang out in the courtyard. Immediately after, two figures flew over from afar and quickly landed on the ground. "It's you, you little bastard?" Hearing that voice, Ling Han subconsciously turned his head. When he looked at Morong Yu, he couldn't help but grin hideously. Murong Yu frowned slightly. A cold glint flashed past his brow, and his eyes were filled with killing intent as he looked at Ling Han. Looking at Murong Yu, Ling Han couldn't help but recall the scene in the trial space. Thinking of how intimate they were, the fury in Ling Han's heart surged wildly. "Little bastard, you still dare to appear. Die." Ling Han put Ling Ling down and roared loudly. Then, he pounced towards Murong Yu. The pressure of the Heaven God tier instantly exploded, rushing towards Murong Yu like a rolling flood. Seeing Ling Han charging over like a mad dog, Fan Tong looked at Murong Yu in shock. "You have a grudge against him?" "I don't know him." Murong Yu shook his head. "Oh, he must have burned his brain." Fan Tong nodded, looking as if he had just realized something. Seeing that Murong Yu didn't seem to take him seriously at all, and didn't even have the intention to dodge, and even commented on him with Fan Tong, the fury in Ling Han's heart became even more terrifying. "Die!" Ling Han roared loudly, and punched fiercely towards Murong Yu's head. A cold glint flashed past Murong Yu's eyes. He took a step forward, and similarly punched out, colliding fiercely with Ling Han's fist in the air. Has this brat gone mad? He's only in the middle stage of the true god tier, and he actually dares to exchange blows with senior brother Ling Han, who's in the heaven god tier? Ling Han's companions were also members of the Heavenly Dao Sect's Earth Alliance. They all looked at Murong Yu as if they were looking at an idiot. They had already seen the difference between a heavenly god and a true god when Ling Han suppressed Ling Ling previously. And Murong Yu's cultivation level was even lower than Ling Ling's. Maybe he thinks he can kill an enemy above his level. A young man from the Earth Alliance laughed loudly, his eyes full of disdain. But very quickly, the smile on his face disappeared, and what replaced it was shock and disbelief. Because, when Murong Yu and Ling Han's fists collided in the air, the expected scene of Murong Yu being sent flying by Ling Han's punch, or even being blasted into pieces with one punch, didn't appear. On the contrary, they saw Ling Han being sent flying by Murong Yu's punch. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. Apart from Murong Yu and Fan Tong, even Ling Han was dumbfounded. This isn't real. Ling Han's face was full of shock as he saw Murong Yu's terrifying power surge into his body. With a "kacha" sound, his fist directly shattered. With a "pring" sound, Ling Han's entire person fell heavily onto the ground, his eyes still filled with extreme terror. "I remember now. Back then in the primeval desolate continent, you seemed to want to kill me?" Murong Yu suddenly said, then took a step forward. With a flash, he appeared in front of Ling Han. Then, he stepped out, stomping towards Ling Han's head. "Die!" Ling Han finally reacted at this moment. With a lazy roll, he dodged Murong Yu's foot, and at the same time, struck out with his palm. Surging energy gushed out from his palm and headed straight for Murong Yu. "Your power can't withstand a single blow." Murong Yu sneered and punched out again. However, this punch was a little different from the previous one. Murong Yu's fist was filled with lightning. Even in the void around Murong Yu, streaks of lightning appeared, and a series of pai-li-pa-la sounds that made one's scalp go numb sounded. This time, Ling Han's fist wasn't the only thing that was shattered. His entire body was engulfed by the endless lightning. The terrifying lightning surrounded his whole body, and began to destroy everything inside Ling Han's body. Break. Ling Han was an elite of the heavenly god tier, after all. After the initial panic, he calmed down. The power in his body surged out, and formed a huge shield on the surface of his body. While protecting his physical body, it also repelled the power of thunder and lightning. "This is too boring. You played with this kind of trash for so long? Wouldn't it be better to just kill him directly?" Fan Tong shook his head and said somewhat speechlessly, "Played? Murong Yu is playing with Ling Han?" Hearing Fan Tong's attack, the few people from the Earth Alliance all looked at Murong Yu in shock. And Ling Han's face, which was originally charred black by the lightning, became even darker. Everyone, attacked together, Kill this bastard for me. Ling Han was furious, but he also knew that he was no match for Murongyu, so he began to gang up on him. Try moving if you dare. I don't mind sending you on your way. The people from the Earth Alliance didn't move, and Fan Tong glanced at them indifferently. The aura of a heavenly god was released, and enveloped the few people from the Earth Alliance. Instantly, these people felt as if there was a huge divine mountain pressing down on their heads, extremely heavy. They were only true gods, and were no match for a heavenly god. Moreover, they believed that if Fan Tong wanted to kill them, it would only take an instant, or even not an instant. Since that's the case, then just kill. Murongyu smiled faintly. He stretched out a large hand and slammed it down on Ling Han. Kill me. Ling Han's face revealed a mocking expression, but soon he couldn't laugh anymore. Because, when Murongyu attacked, an extremely strong aura of death appeared in his heart. He didn't know why, but he knew that he was dead for sure. So, he panicked and shouted loudly, Murongyu, you can't kill me! I'm an inner disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect. If you kill me, the sect won't let you go. Moreover, my master won't let you go either. My master is a heavenly monarch. Heavenly monarch? Should be the upper echelon of the Earth Alliance? No wonder you could get the breakthrough pill. However, from the moment you faced Ling Ling's opponent, you were already sentenced to death. Murongyu smiled coldly, and then, under Ling Han's terrified gaze, his large hand had already slapped down. Pooh! With a sound, the arrogant Ling Han was slapped into a pile of mud. All that was left was a shimmering godhead. The people of the Earth Alliance all looked at Murongyu in a daze. They didn't know how Murongyu, who was only a middle-stage true god, could kill a heavenly god. In an instant, these people's worldview collapsed. All kinds of knowledge were shattered by Murongyu's punch. Scram! Scram as far away as you can. In the future, automatically take a detour when you see us. Otherwise, I'll beat you up every time I see you. Seeing these dumbfounded trash, Fan Tong couldn't help but shout coldly. These people finally came to their senses and flew away as if they were fleeing. Chapter 869. If you hit the small one, the big one would always appear. In Murongyu's house in the Heavenly Tao sect, all of a sudden, Murongyu opened his eyes and exhaled. At the same time, there was a look of regret on his face. How is it? Ling Ling, who was originally sitting in front of him, opened her eyes and asked faintly. However, Murongyu was able to hear the trace of anticipation and nervousness in her calm voice. The seal seems to have loosened. The power is even stronger. If I'm not wrong, even if you don't deliberately cultivate. However, as the seal continues to loosen, you will break through the barrier and become a heavenly god. Moreover, it won't take too long. Murongyu said slowly after pondering for a while. Ling Ling should be happy to be able to break through to a higher realm. However, after hearing Murongyu's words, Ling Ling didn't look happy at all. On the contrary, her face became gloomy. The power sealed in her body was like a ticking time bomb. The more the seal loosened, the stronger Ling Ling's strength would be, but it would also be more dangerous. This was because Ling Ling did not know when that ball of energy would devour her. He too, is there any way to devour that ball of energy? Or seal it directly? Murongyu didn't have any way to deal with that power. He could only ask Kichu. That power is very strong. If you can absorb it, you should be able to raise your realm by a few levels. However, that power is very strange at the same time. With your current ability, you can't absorb it at all. Ling Ling can't absorb it either. If you can't refine or expel that power before it breaks through the seal, Ling Ling will definitely die. Maybe her body is still there, but her soul is no longer this soul. And I can't do anything. However, I can temporarily strengthen the seal of that power. Hichu Luoshu said a lot and finally got to the point. It's good that you can strengthen the seal. However, can you tell what that ball of energy is? Morong Yu secretly heaved a sigh of relief. He really didn't want to see Ling Ling being devoured by that ball of energy. Maybe it's a life. I'm not strong enough, so I can't tell, Hichu said honestly. Morong Yu's face sank. Hichu had followed Zhao Yun in the past, and his standards were extremely high. Furthermore, he had already reached the Heavenly King stage, and he couldn't even tell, in other words, that mass of energy was at least at the peak of the Heavenly King realm, or even higher. If it really was a life form, then who sealed it inside? What kind of conspiracy was this? Morong Yu sensed the aura of a conspiracy. Ling Ling, I can't do anything for the time being. However, I have a friend who can temporarily strengthen the seal on that ball of power so that he can't break out. But you don't have to worry, I will definitely expel that energy from your body. Really? Ling Ling's unchanging expression, which hadn't changed even when she was about to be humiliated by Ling Han, revealed an excited expression at this moment. Sure. Morong Yu nodded calmly. Okay. Ling Ling was so excited that her delicate body started to tremble. Because of that ball of energy inside her body, she couldn't truly feel at ease. She wanted to become stronger so that she could expel that ball of energy from her body. However, at the same time, she also knew that as her cultivation level increased, the chances of that ball of energy breaking out of the seal would also increase. Thus, she had always been in a dilemma. She wanted to become stronger, but was also worried that the ball of energy would break out of the seal. She was extremely conflicted. Morong Yu nodded, and then Hichu appeared beside them out of thin air. Ling Ling's delicate body suddenly stiffened. A burst of killing intent burst forth, and she looked coldly at Hichu. The power inside her body was instantly raised to the limit, and she looked warily at Hichu. If it weren't for Morong Yu's calm appearance, perhaps Ling Ling would have attacked at the first moment. Even though she knew that Hichu's strength was beyond the scope of her understanding, and that he could kill her with a single breath. However, due to her long-term instincts, she still did so. Seeing Ling Ling's reaction, Morong Yu sighed inwardly. He now vaguely understood why Ling Ling always kept people at a distance and treated everyone so coldly. This was due to some kind of self-preservation instinct. It seemed that Ling Ling had a story. There is no need for you to look at me with such vigilance. If I wanted to kill you, you would have already died 1,000,000 times over, the young man said indifferently in the face of Ling Ling's vigilance. He is my friend, Hichu. Next, he will help you strengthen the seal in your body, Morong Yu said, then nodded at Hichu and left the room. Seeing Morong Yu come out, Fan Tong, who had been waiting outside the room, asked, "How is it?" Morong Yu did not hide the condition of Ling Ling's body. However, Fan Tong had never heard of this matter. Morong Yu shook his head. It can be temporarily sealed. However, it can't be expelled. Calm down. When the time comes, I will ask my old man. There is nothing in this world that my old man can't do, Fan Tong said with a smile as he patted Morong Yu's shoulder. Morong Yu smiled. Fan Tong's old man might be very strong, but the power in Ling Ling's body was definitely not simple. Moreover, although Morong Yu did not know who Fan Tong's old man was, however, to be able to kill the Bloody Hand, who was at least a heavenly emperor-level powerhouse, with a single blow, just how strong was his old man? There was no need to say. How could a person of this level casually attack? Moreover, Ling Ling had nothing to do with the other party. If Fan Tong's old man really attacked, then it would be strange. After all, whether it was Morong Yu or Ling Ling, in his eyes, they were just ant-like existences. She hasn't come out yet? Fan Tong pointed at Ling Ling, somewhat surprised. She is still inside strengthening the seal. You didn't do it? Fan Tong was instantly shocked. He thought that Morong Yu had sealed Ling Ling. This was because he did not notice the existence of a third person in the room from the beginning to the end. Of course, he could not have discovered it. Hichu's strength was so much higher than his by so much. Moreover, Hichu did not enter the room from the outside. Thus, the two of them sat in the courtyard and waited. A day later, Morongyu sensed that Hichu had returned to Hichu Luoshu. Using his divine will, he saw Hichu sitting cross-legged on the ground, recovering. His face was slightly pale. Seeing this, how could Morongyu not know that this was because he had used too much energy? Hichu, if you have used too much energy, you can use the holy pulse at any time, Morongyu said telepathically. I did not use much energy, but I used too much of my mental energy. However, the seal has been strengthened. In a short period of time, that ball of energy will not be able to break through the seal. I will recover first, Hichu said, then quieted down. At this moment, the door of the room opened. Ling Ling walked out slowly with a happy face. Beauty, it seems that you are in good spirit. Seeing Ling Ling walk out, Fan Tong's eyes lit up. Although Ling Ling was extremely beautiful before, she always had an appearance of being 1,000 miles away from others. Moreover, she always gave off a gloomy feeling. However, although Ling Ling still looked cold, the iceberg seemed to have started to melt. The gloomy and oppressive feeling on her body had also disappeared. What replaced it was a relaxed and cheerful feeling. At this moment, Ling Ling was indeed much more relaxed. Since she had discovered the ball of energy in her body, this was the first time she felt relaxed. Ling Ling looked at Morongyu. She knew that all of this was given to her by Morongyu. Moreover, she did not know why, but she was suddenly filled with confidence in Morongyu. She felt that this seemingly ordinary man could definitely suppress and even expel the ball of energy in her body. Thank you, Ling Ling said to Morongyu with a sincere expression as she walked over. Morongyu only smiled faintly. However, Fan Tong chuckled and said, Beauty, just a thank you is enough? Shouldn't you show some appreciation? For example, say something like giving yourself to me. Scram! Morongyu's face darkened. He turned around and threw a punch at Fan Tong. Fan Tong chuckled and took a few steps back, avoiding Morongyu's attack. At this moment, a rare blush flashed across Ling Ling's icy face. When the icy beauty revealed such a bashful expression, Morongyu and Fan Tong couldn't help but be startled as their attention was drawn to her. However, Ling Ling's next words woke the two of them up. From now on, I am yours. My life is yours. If you want my body, I will give it to you. After saying this, she turned around and left. On the other hand, Morongyu and Fan Tong were stunned. This ice beauty is quite valiant. Fan Tong chuckled and looked at Ling Ling, who was slowly walking to the other side. His eyes flashed with a strange light. Morongyu's face also darkened at Ling Ling's words. What do you think? Do you feel the desire to conquer her body and mind? Fan Tong poked Morongyu with his hand and chuckled strangely. Scram! Morongyu glared at Fan Tong. He did not have any feelings for Ling Ling. Even if Ling Ling really appeared, he would not accept this kind of gratitude. You are the ones who killed Ling Han? At this moment, an angry roar came from afar. Then, a figure landed in Morongyu's courtyard. A terrifying aura exploded from his body like a torrential flood, sweeping in all directions. With a ping, the walls of Morongyu's courtyard and the gate outside were directly turned into dust under this terrifying pressure. Even Ling Ling was affected by this terrifying power. The blood in her body churned and her face turned pale. With a "pu" sound, she spat out a mouthful of blood. Hong! A blinding light exploded from Fan Tong's body. The shield on his body was actually activated by this terrifying aura. Chapter 870. Over God. The only person present who was not affected by this aura was Morongyu. This was because ever since he regained control of Hichu Luoshu had always been in a state of being used. It was like an inner armor that was attached to Morongyu's body. This was because there were far too many powerful experts in the God realm who could crush him to death. Murong Yu could not help but be on guard against any sudden attacks from these experts at all times. Even the pressure of a heavenly king-stage draconic beast was unable to affect Murong Yu in the slightest, let alone a mere main god. However, Murong Yu was still furious. What if he did not have Hichu Luoshu? With his own strength, even if he did not die from the shock, he would definitely be severely injured. Just like Ling Ling, Murong Yu took a step forward and shielded Ling Ling behind him, blocking the terrifying pressure from the newcomer. Although it had only been an instant, Ling Ling was already severely injured. Not only were there shocking wounds on the surface of her body, but the meridians in her body had also been shattered. In just a few more breaths of time, Ling Ling would definitely be killed. The pressure of an overgod was enough to kill a true god. A stream of life force surged into Ling Ling's body, quickly healing her injuries. At the same time, Murong Yu glared at the young man, the overgod Ling Song. From the moment you stepped into this courtyard and released your aura, you were already dead. His voice was as cold as ice that had been frozen for 100 million years. The temperature of the surrounding area seemed to be affected as well, dropping significantly in an instant. With just the three of you trash? The newcomer stood there with his head held high. His aura surged as if he was looking down on the heavens, as if the heavens were the boss and he was the second. His eyes were filled with intense disdain as he looked at Murong Yu and the other two. Ha ha! At this moment, Fan Tong laughed out of extreme anger. I've seen many people who don't know what's good for them, but I've never seen anyone who comes forward to die. You are one of them. Murong Yu looked at Fan Tong. At this moment, Fan Tong no longer had his usual lazy aura, nor did he look angry. He only had a cold expression on his face. Murong Yu knew that Fan Tong was truly angry. If Fan Tong got angry, the Heavenly Tao School might be destroyed. Murong Yu was shocked. Although he didn't know who Fan Tong's father was, Murong Yu felt that his father must be an extremely overbearing person. Ling Song actually dared to kill Fan Tong. If his shadow appeared, Murong Yu had no doubt that he would slap Ling Song and even the entire natural law school to death. The Heavenly Tao Academy was decided by Murong Yu, so he didn't want it to be destroyed. Thus, he walked over with Ling Ling. Fan Tong, let me handle this matter, Murong Yu said in a low voice as he patted Fan Tong's shoulder. This idiot has angered me. I must kill him personally, Fan Tong said coldly. Murong Yu laughed bitterly. I don't want the Heavenly Tao School to be destroyed as well. Fan Tong was startled, then reacted. All right, I'll leave this matter to you. After Murong Yu's reminder, Fan Tong came to his senses. He definitely wasn't Fan Tong's match, so he could only summon his father's shadow. He knew very well how overbearing his father was. Seeing that Murong Yu and Ling Han didn't care about him at all, and were even discussing how to deal with him, Ling Han immediately became furious. Ling Han, a master god, was instantly enraged. His lungs were about to explode from anger. Little bastards, you think too highly of yourselves. Ant-like existences dare to kill a disciple of the Ling clan? You're practically seeking death. As he spoke, he took another step forward, and the aura on his body became even more violent as it pressed down on Murong Yu and the others. However, even though his cultivation level was higher, reaching the sky tier, his pressure didn't affect Murong Yu and Fan Tong at all. Moreover, the courtyard behind Murong Yu was protected by powerful restrictions, so the pressure of a master god couldn't shake it at all. Seeing that Murong Yu and Fan Tong, and even Ling Ling, were completely fine under his pressure, the disdain in Ling Song's eyes was still strong, but there was also a sliver of graveness and greed. He knew that the reason Murong Yu and Fan Tong could resist his pressure was because they had treasures on them. Naturally, Ling Song began to feel greedy. A disciple of the Ling clan? Murong Yu sneered and pointed at Ling Ling, who had already entered Fan Tong's light barrier, and continued, Could it be that she's not a member of the Ling clan? She was once a member of the Ling clan, but now she's a traitor of the Ling clan, Ling Song said calmly. Ever since Ling Ling joined the Tian Dao sect, and didn't join the Earth Alliance, and was suppressed by the Heaven Alliance, she was no longer a member of the Ling clan. Otherwise, why would she be so miserable in the Tian Dao sect? After all, the Ling clan's influence in the Tian Dao sect wasn't weak. Murong Yu looked at Ling Ling, but he saw that Ling Ling was still as calm as an ancient well. She was completely indifferent to the fact that she was a traitor of the Ling clan. Well, with her personality, she only wanted to increase her strength and suppress the power in her body, so she didn't care much about her clan. Especially after Hichu strengthened the seal on the power in her body, she had secretly sworn to follow Murong Yu. From now on, she was Murong Yu's person. Like Yang Yun, she was Murong Yu's person, but she wasn't Murong Yu's woman. Brat, a member of the Ling clan isn't someone you can kill. Die. Ling Song shouted coldly, took a step forward, reached out his hand and slapped down on Murong Yu's head. He looked calm and relaxed, as if he didn't care at all. Indeed, a master god could kill a true god with just his aura, let alone with his own hand. He could pinch Murong Yu to death with just a finger. Murong Yu didn't make a move. Even if he used the power of 3 godhoods, he wasn't a match for Ling Song. However, he was fearless. If you stop immediately, leave this place, and avoid us when you see us in the future, I can spare your life. This is your only chance. Otherwise, you'll die without a doubt. Murong Yu took a step back, avoiding Ling Song's palm, and said coldly, "Ha ha ha ha." Ling Song laughed loudly as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Brat, don't think that you're invincible just because you killed Ling Han with a treasure. In my eyes, you're even less than an ant. With a cold smile, he used his finger like a sword and slashed down on Murong Yu's neck. You don't have a chance. Murong Yu smiled faintly. This time, he didn't continue to retreat. At this time, Ling Song panicked for no reason. Boom! At this moment, a terrifying pressure descended from the sky. It was as if an immemorial divine mountain was crashing down on them. A strong aura of death instantly enveloped Ling Song. At this moment, Ling Song saw death in his eyes. He didn't know why he suddenly had this feeling, but Ling Song didn't have time to think about it. Immediately, he turned to flee into the distance. Too late. Murong Yu's indifferent voice instantly announced Ling Song's death. Pooh! An extremely terrifying pressure came crashing down. With a horrified expression, Ling Song was blasted into smithereens after an explosion. The aura of a master god could kill a true god. However, elites of the master god tier could also be directly crushed into a bloody mist by the aura of a heavenly king tier. Yes, the aura of a heavenly king tier. The aura of a dragon beast. Just now, Murong Yu had controlled the Hichu Luoshu to open a crack and release an aura. Just this aura alone was enough to kill Ling Song, the arrogant, pretentious prick. He died just like that? Seeing Murong Yu grab Ling Song's godhead, Ling Ling's expression was dazed. Just now, she had personally experienced Ling Song's terrifying aura. That arrogant Ling Song, with the heavens as the boss and him as the second boss, was actually so weak that he couldn't even withstand a single blow. Beauty, it's not that Ling Song is too weak, but that Murong Yu is too strong. Not to mention a mere master god, even if a heaven monarch came, he would be able to crush him to death. Ling Ling was shocked. Could it be the heavenly king tier? Looking at Murong Yu, Ling Ling's eyes were filled with shock. I'm only at the true god tier. In terms of tier, I'm not as good as you. Murong Yu smiled slightly. But in terms of strength, I can't even catch up. Ling Ling added in her heart. Then, a hint of worry appeared on her face. One of the ancestors of the Ling family is a higher-up of the Earth Alliance. We killed Ling Han and Ling Song, so I'm afraid we've already angered him. If you're not at the Heavenly King tier, you're just courting death. Even if it's a Heavenly King, If he dares to make a move, I'll let him die without a doubt, Fan Tong said calmly, not taking the higher-ups of the Earth Alliance seriously at all. Ling Ling's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief as she looked at Fan Tong. She felt that Fan Tong was bragging a little too much. On the other hand, Morong Yu knew that Fan Tong truly had the ability to do so. What bullsh *T Heaven Alliance or Earth Alliance? This Tiandao sect was messed up by these trash. You might as well go all the way. Find their leader and kill him directly. Then you can take over, Fan Tong said calmly. However, Morong Yu shook his head. Even if he relied on the Dragon Beast's pressure and Fan Tong's strength to kill the Heaven Alliance, Earth Alliance, and even the Tiandao sect's sect master, so what? With Morong Yu's current strength, he couldn't control the Tiandao sect at all. On the contrary, it was possible that the Tiandao sect would fall apart. Moreover, Fan Tong couldn't always be by his side. Moreover, who knew when the Dragon Beast's corpse's pressure would disappear? At that time, with Morong Yu's strength, he wouldn't be able to control the situation at all. When I have the strength, I'll slowly get rid of these tumors, Morong Yu said indifferently. His calm demeanor made it seem as if this was the most ordinary thing in the world. Rumble at this moment, a powerful aura suddenly burst out. At first, Morong Yu and the other two thought that someone was coming to kill them again. However, they soon discovered that the aura was actually coming from inside the house. Moreover, it wasn't very strong. It was only the Heavenly God Realm. Heavenly God Realm, Yang Yun had broken through. In just a few days. Chapter 871. Heaven Sect, Qinghong Peak, in the main hall. More than 10 people with strong auras and qi and blood were sitting on both sides of the main hall. However, no one dared to sit on the main seat in the main hall, because only one person was qualified to sit on that seat. That person was the leader of the Heaven Alliance, who was called Young Master Tian. Qinghong Peak was the headquarters of the Heaven Alliance. The people in the main hall were the top management of the Heaven Alliance. They were the core members. Everyone, how should we deal with that outer disciple? Chu Lin, the second in command of the Heaven Alliance, glanced at the crowd and said lightly, "Just kill him." A core member of the Heaven Alliance said lightly with a look of disdain. The person beside him called Fan Tong is not simple. Another core member said with a frown. Morong Yu had already angered the Heaven Alliance by killing people from the Heaven Alliance one after another. If it were someone else, the Heaven Alliance would have already made them disappear. However, they were worried about the power behind Fan Tong. They knew that Morong Yu and Xian Yu had once made a scene in the mysterious Star City and almost killed Miss Xian Yu in the end. With Xian Xing's strength and Xian Yu's vindictiveness, they must have already known that Morong Yu was a disciple of the Heaven Sect. However, they did not dare to go to the Heaven Sect to ask for him. Why? Were they worried about the Heaven Sect? Of course not. Although the mysterious Star City was only a city, its strength was not as strong as the Heaven Sect. However, its strength was not weak either. Moreover, Morong Yu was only an outer disciple in the Heaven Sect. If Xian Yu was willing to ask for him, the Heaven Sect would probably give Morong Yu away. However, they did not do so. Of course, it was not because of Morong Yu. It should be because of Fan Tong. Although the Heaven Alliance was the strongest in the Heaven Sect, could it be compared with the mysterious Star City? No. Therefore, they did not dare to do anything to Morong Yu. However, they could no longer tolerate Morong Yu's repeated killings of the Sky Alliance's members. If they continued to tolerate it, the people of the Natural Law School would think that the Heavenly Alliance was afraid of Morong Yu. This made the Heaven Alliance lose face. "We can't kill him, but we don't have to do it ourselves if we want to kill him," said another person coldly. His voice was filled with killing intent. "What do you mean?" Everyone suddenly turned their heads and looked at the person who spoke. "Hypertoxic continent." Hiss. Everyone couldn't help but gasp. While these people from the Heavenly Alliance were discussing how to kill Morong Yu, on the Red Dragon Peak of the Natural Law School. Crimson Dragon Peak was the headquarters of the Earth Alliance, just like the Heavenly Alliance's Qinghong Peak. At this moment, some people had also gathered in the main hall. Murong, you must die. Ling Hong's eyes narrowed as killing intent flashed in his eyes. He was one of the higher-ups of the Ling family in the Earth Alliance, and he was one of the core members of the Earth Alliance. He was extremely powerful. Not long ago, he received news that Murong Yu had killed 2 disciples of the Ling family in succession. Both of them had decent aptitudes and were people that Ling Hong had focused on nurturing. However, they were killed by Murong Yu within a day. Murong Yu didn't just kill the 2 of them, he also killed Ling Hong's face and even the Earth Alliance's face. In fact, although Murong Yu had rejected the Earth Alliance's invitation at the beginning, he didn't join the Earth Alliance. However, the Earth Alliance didn't go against Murong Yu. However, after Murong Yu killed the 2 of them, he was now standing on the opposite side of the Earth Alliance. He should be relying on that Fan Tong, said a core member of the Earth Alliance. If the Heaven Alliance could know what had happened to Murong Yu recently, they naturally knew as well. However, like the Heaven Alliance, they didn't dare to directly attack Murong Yu. However, sometimes, killing didn't require one to do it personally. I'm going into seclusion too. On the other side, in Murong Yu's courtyard, Yang Yun had already come out of the house. Her realm had risen from the late stage of True God to the early stage of Heaven God, although her aura hadn't stabilized yet. However, her strength was more than 1,000 times stronger than before. However, the moment she saw Yang Yun, Ling Ling mentioned that she wanted to go into seclusion too. At the same time, she had already walked into the house. Murong Yu didn't have any objections to this. It was a good thing that they were stronger. Thank you. Yang Yun walked in front of Murong Yu and still couldn't hold back the excitement in her heart as she thanked Murong Yu. At the same time, she handed the divine vein that hadn't been completely refined and absorbed to Murong Yu. All right, there's no need for such formalities in the future. As for the divine vein and the remaining comprehension pills, just keep them, Murong Yu said calmly. Yang Yun opened her mouth to speak, but at this moment, a voice was heard and interrupted her. Brat, you're Murong Yu? Not bad. As soon as you came back, you killed those trash from the Heaven Alliance and Earth Alliance. I admire you, you can be my follower in the future. An arrogant voice rang in Murong Yu and the other 2's ears. Murong Yu and the other 2 were instantly stunned. They looked towards the direction of the voice and saw a 13 or 14-year-old young man with a tinge of childishness on his face walking towards them slowly with his hands behind his back. However, his childish face was now filled with arrogance and insufferably arrogance, as if he was an emperor. However, when they saw the young man, Murong Yu and Fan Tong couldn't help but frown. That was because the young man was even stronger than Ling Song and had already reached the Sky Realm. A 13 or 14-year-old Sky Realm expert. Murong Yu and Fan Tong looked at each other and confusion flashed across their faces. Of course, they couldn't believe that the young man was really 13 or 14-year-old. As for the childishness on his face, if there was a need, Murong Yu could also look like that. Little brat, go away. Although they didn't believe that the young man was really 13 or 14-year-old, Murong Yu and Fan Tong still treated him as a little brat. In fact, even if they knew that he was an old monster, who wouldn't treat him as a little brat when they saw his childishness? Hearing Fan Tong's words, the little brat frowned slightly. He looked at Fan Tong and sized him up before saying, "Brat, you're not bad either. You're in the Sky God realm and barely qualified to be my follower. From now on, you're my follower. As for this little girl, although she doesn't look very good, she can be my maid." Hearing the little brat's words, Murong Yu and the other 2 weren't angry. Instead, they were happy. Each and every one of them sized up this little brat with an inexplicable gaze. "Little brat, which family are you from? It's dark, your mother is calling you home for dinner. Hurry up and go back." Fan Tong couldn't help but laugh. Brat, you don't have the awareness of a follower. But seeing that you're young and ignorant, I'll let you off this time. If you do it again, I won't let you off. The young man glanced at Fan Tong and said with a childish voice. This damn pervert, who knows how old he is, but he's still acting like this. Disgusting. Fan Tong muttered in his heart. Seeing that Morong Yu and the other two were still looking at him with ridicule, the little brat frowned slightly. A hint of displeasure flashed across his face before he continued, You're not willing to be my follower? Fine, seeing that you don't know my identity, I won't blame you. I'll tell you my identity now. Stand still and don't be scared by me. Cough, the little brat coughed dryly before saying in a deep voice, I'm the crown prince of the Heavenly Tao sect. The sect master of the Heavenly Tao sect, Tian Xuanzi, is my father. I'm the next sect master of the Heavenly Tao sect. I'll control the entire sect. What Heaven Alliance or Earth Alliance, in my eyes, they're all useless. This crown prince will exterminate them all in a few days. Brat, you're lucky enough to be this crown prince's follower. Why aren't you kneeling down and kowtowing to express your gratitude? After the little brat, who was the crown prince, finished speaking with a proud face, he stared at Morong Yu and the other two. However, what made him disappointed was that Morong Yu and the other two didn't reveal any shock or horror after he announced his identity, nor did they submit. Instead, they looked at him with an indifferent gaze. This made the crown prince very angry in his heart. Little brat, are you trying to compete with us in terms of father? Fan Tong laughed. Although this little brat's strength wasn't bad, he dared to be so proud. If it wasn't for his father, he would have already been killed by others. However, if it was a competition of father, how many people could compete with Fan Tong? You're still not submitting to me? The little brat looked at Morong Yu and the other two with an unhappy face. Child, go home and drink milk. If you want us to submit, that's impossible. Fan Tong waved his hand, once again ordering them to leave. Sigh, the little brat suddenly sighed, his face revealing a disappointed expression. Originally, I quite admired you. However, you actually didn't submit to me. Since that's the case, then you're useless and can die. However, this crown prince isn't someone who willfully kills innocent people. You can kill yourselves. Morong Yu and the other two were amused. However, when they thought of this little brat's terrifying strength and his identity, their hearts sank. With the strength of Morong Yu and the other two, killing the crown prince of the sky realm was as easy as flipping their hands. However, this little brat's father was the sect master of the Tian Dao sect. Who knew what realm that fellow was at? If they killed the crown prince, the three of them wouldn't even have time to leave the Tian Dao sect. Not to mention controlling the Tian Dao sect. Go home, wash up, and sleep. Otherwise, I'll spank your butt. Morong Yu glared at the crown prince and said coldly. Since you don't want to kill yourselves, then I'll have to do it. The crown prince sighed again, and lightly struck out with his palm, pressing down on Morong Yu. A terrifying pressure instantly enveloped Morong Yu and the other two, and a cold, killing intent filled the surroundings. The little brat really wanted to kill Morong Yu and the other two. A cold light flashed past Morong Yu's brows. Towards people who wanted to kill him, he had always killed them, no matter if the other party was a woman or a child. Because, once they made a move against him, they would be his enemy. Towards his enemies, he had to be ruthless. Chapter 872. Although little brat Crown Prince was young, at least that was what he looked like on the surface. However, he was much stronger than any one of Morong Yu's group. If he only relied on his own strength, Morong Yu's group would not be his match at all. They would even be killed in one move. However, other than Morong Yu's group, Morong Yu and Fan Tong could not be killed so easily. Especially Fan Tong, it was impossible to kill him. Little brat, you dare to make a move? You're really courting death, Morong Yu said with a cold face. Then, the pressure of the Heavenly King's stage dragon beast burst out and charged towards Little Brat Crown Prince. With a plop, Little Brat's attack was shattered by the terrifying pressure. Then, the terrifying pressure directly suppressed Little Brat Crown Prince, causing him to fall to the ground in a dog-eating posture. He did not die. It was not that the dragon beast's aura could not kill Little Brat Crown Prince. In reality, it was because Little Brat Crown Prince's identity was too sensitive. Murong, you could not kill him for now. Little Brat, you actually attacked us. You deserve a spanking. Fan Tong laughed sinisterly. He reached out and grabbed Little Brat Crown Prince. Then, he pulled off his pants, revealing his white and tender butt. Slap, slap, slap. Fan Tong raised his hand and ruthlessly slapped Little Brat's butt. Lowly ant, you dare hit me? You're dead, dead. Little Brat's face was full of humiliation. His eyes were filled with incomparable resentment, constantly spitting out flames of anger. Slap, slap. The only response was the sound of big buttock. This made Little Brat Crown Prince even angrier. However, although he was a Heavenly King stage expert, the dragon beast's pressure still suppressed him. If not for this, Fan Tong would not even be able to get close to him, let alone spank him. After a series of spankings, Fan Tong threw Little Brat Crown Prince out. Little Brat, go home, wash up, and sleep. It won't be too late to seek revenge when you grow up. You're all dead, you must die. Little Brat Crown Prince looked at Murong Yu's group with incomparable resentment. After leaving behind a ruthless threat, he did not dare to stay any longer and turned around and flew away. He knew that Murong Yu's group had the ability to kill him. If he continued to stay, Murong Yu might really kill him. If this brat is really Tian Xuanzi's son, then things will be a little troublesome. Murong Yu slightly knitted his brows. Of course, he was not afraid of their revenge. He was worried that Yang Yun and Ling Ling would be implicated because of this. Next time, we'll just kill him. If his father dares to show up, I'll kill him too, Fan Tong said nonchalantly. Yang Yun, go and consolidate your cultivation first. Murong Yu had an idea and walked into the house. In the next few days, whether it was the Heaven Alliance, the Earth Alliance, or the Crown Prince, none of them came to find trouble with Murong Yu. Perhaps they all felt that they could not do anything to Murong Yu. The core members of the Heaven Alliance gathered again on Qinghong Peak. However, their alliance master, young Master Tian, still did not appear. Even that brat, the Crown Prince, fell at Murong Yu's hands. No, I should say that he fell at Fan Tong's hands. I can guarantee that it was all Fan Tong's doing, someone said in a deep voice. With Fan Tong by his side, we never had a chance to kill Murong Yu. It's time to execute that plan. In the Hichu Luoshu world, Murong Yu found Hichu. Hichu, where's the drop of divine dragon blood essence? The divine dragon blood essence was the drop of dragon blood that was obtained from the God Stone. After contacting Hichu again, Murong Yu stored everything in Hichu Luoshu. Today, Murong Yu wanted to study the so-called dragon blood. However, he realized that the dragon blood was gone. It was absorbed by him. Hichu pointed at a huge egg with a strange expression. It was a dragon beast egg. It absorbed it? Murong Yu was speechless. If he did not believe that Hichu would not lie to him, he would never believe that an egg would absorb the dragon blood on its own accord. Or rather, the dragon blood flew over to the huge egg and was absorbed by it. Hichu said with a strange expression. The dragon blood flew over on its own accord? A strange expression appeared on Murong Yu's face. At the same time, a trace of anticipation appeared in his eyes as he looked at the huge egg. The dragon beast was a mix of the immemorial divine dragon and monster beast. It was a monster beast that was between the dragon clan and monster beast. It had a trace of the dragon clan's bloodline. However, the dragon clan's bloodline was extremely low. Moreover, the dragon clan, who prided themselves on their nobility, would never admit that the dragon beast was part of their dragon clan. Therefore, the dragon beast was still a monster beast. However, the dragon beast could also become a real dragon clan, a divine dragon. However, the possibility of this was too small. After all, as the dragon beast was passed down from generation to generation, the dragon clan's bloodline in their bodies would become thinner and thinner. They would only become further and further away from becoming a real dragon clan. However, there would occasionally be a dragon beast that would mutate and have a very rich dragon clan's bloodline in their bodies. As the dragon beast's cultivation increased, its bloodline would become purer and purer. Finally, it would evolve into a real divine dragon. Although a drop of divine dragon's blood essence isn't much, it's enough to change the bloodline of the little dragon beast in the dragon beast egg. I wonder if this dragon beast will become a real divine dragon in one fell swoop. Murong Yu's face revealed a look of anticipation. As for the dragon blood, although it was precious, Murong Yu had originally planned to use it to mess up the constitution of the little guy in the dragon beast egg after it was born. Now it was just brought forward. Moreover, the effect now was better than the effect of the transformation after the little dragon beast was born. Perhaps it can really evolve into a divine dragon. Hichu was also looking forward to it. Is Murong Yu here? At this moment, Murong Yu heard someone calling his name outside the courtyard. I'll go out for a while. Murong Yu's mind moved and his divine consciousness retreated from Hichu Luoshu. Then, he stood up and walked outside. Are these bastards done yet? Fan Tong's angry voice came out. Obviously, he was very angry. There was no other way. Since Murong Yu came back, people kept coming to find trouble. Although they were all killed by Murong Yu in the end, this kind of trouble was still annoying. If you push me too far, I'll destroy the entire Tiandao sect. Fan Tong said angrily. Let's go out and see what's going on. Murong Yu was also a little angry in his heart. His face was gloomy as he strode out. Originally, Murong Yu and Fan Tong thought that someone had come to find trouble. But when they came out, they found that these people didn't step into the courtyard. Instead, they stood in front of the gate and looked to the side. They don't seem to be here to find trouble? Fan Tong said. His face looked better, but it was still not good. What's the matter? Murong Yu walked over and looked at the young man in the lead and asked faintly. Now, the sect needs you to complete a mission. The young man glanced at Murong Yu indifferently with a touch of disdain in his eyes. At the same time, he threw a jade slip to Murong Yu. Murong Yu took it and probed it with his divine consciousness. Then, his face turned ugly. Noticing Murong Yu's strange expression, Fan Tong took the jade slip and probed it with his divine consciousness. Toxic continent? Get the heart of the poisonous dragon? Fan Tong's face suddenly became gloomy as he looked at the people in front of him who were gloating. His murderous aura surged. Murong Yu, this is the mission given to you by the sect. You must complete it within 100 years. Moreover, it can only be done by one person. Otherwise, you don't have to come back to the Tiandao sect. The young man in the lead said coldly. Bastard, you clearly want to kill Murong Yu. Fan Tong was angry. Then, he looked at Murong Yu and said, Brother, don't accept this mission. What bullshit Tiandao sect, what's so special about it? If you want to leave the sect, then leave the sect. Murong Yu's face was gloomy as his eyes flickered. He knew what kind of existence the toxic continent was. The toxic continent was like the primordial continent. It was a huge first-class continent. However, there were no gods in the toxic continent. This was because the entire toxic continent was poisonous. Even powerful people only dared to walk around the periphery of the toxic continent and did not dare to go deep. Moreover, they could not stay in the toxic continent for too long. Otherwise, even a heavenly emperor powerhouse could be poisoned to death. In fact, a long time ago, the toxic continent was a continent on the same level as the primordial continent. There were many powerhouses and powerful sections. However, one day, an incomparably terrifying poison enveloped the entire continent overnight. Then, all life on the continent was poisoned to death. Whether it was those powerful gods or ordinary demonic beasts, even plants, they were all poisoned to death. Not a single person escaped from the toxic continent alive. And the toxic continent also became a forbidden area of the divine realm. Even the divine realm's peak powerhouses did not dare to go deep. Although the toxic continent had the ruins of countless sects, if one could really go deep into the toxic continent, then one would obtain an incomparably terrifying wealth. But even heavenly emperor powerhouses could only wander around the periphery. How many people in the entire divine realm could enter the depths of the toxic continent? It was rumored that the reason why the toxic continent was wiped out overnight was because of the Poison Dragon King. Because the Poison Dragon King appeared out of thin air and killed all life on the continent, occupying the toxic continent. Thus, the huge continent was also called the Poison Dragon Continent. And Murong Yu's mission was not only to go deep into the toxic continent, but also to obtain the heart of the legendary Poison Dragon King. Putting aside whether the Poison Dragon King really existed or not, even if it really existed, so what? With Murong Yu's strength, could he get close to the Poison Dragon King, who killed the entire toxic continent by relying on poison gas? Very clearly, this was killing with a borrowed knife. Chapter 873. I'll accept this mission. Murong Yu's face was somewhat gloomy as he took the jade slip from Fan Tong's hand. At the same time, he said to those people from Heaven Alliance who were rejoicing in his misfortune, "Congratulations on successfully completing the mission." The leading youth said to Murong Yu with a smile before turning around and leaving. Why did this Murong Yu accept it? He clearly knows that it's impossible to complete the mission. A youth asked puzzledly. You're really an idiot. He has to accept this mission even if he doesn't want to. Unless he's expelled from the Tiandao sect. But going to the highly poisonous continent is clearly impossible. Moreover, who knows if the Poison Dragon King really exists? Even if it does, Murong Yu doesn't have the ability to take it away. He's dead for sure. Everyone sneered and swaggered off. Why did you accept this mission? You clearly know that it's killing with a borrowed knife. You clearly know that it's impossible to complete? Fan Tong slightly frowned as he looked at Murong Yu. He was somewhat puzzled and even somewhat angry. Murong Yu's expression returned to normal as he said, Is it possible for me to refuse? Of course you can refuse. Or it's fine even if you accept it. At worst, you can just leave the Tiandao sect. Fan Tong frowned. Since I've accepted the mission, I must make a trip to the highly poisonous continent regardless of whether I can complete it or not. Moreover, I've long wanted to take a look at the highly poisonous continent. Murong Yu's eyes flashed with a cold glint. For gods, the highly poisonous continent was a land of death. But at the same time, it was a place filled with opportunities. As long as one could go deep into the highly poisonous continent, one would more or less have some harvest. I'll go with you. Murong Yu immediately shook his head and refused. The highly poisonous continent is too dangerous. You should stay in the Tiandao sect. Help me take care of Yang Yun and the other two. As for me, if I can't do it, I won't joke around with my life. After a bit of preparation, Murong Yu left the Tiandao sect. Heavenly Dao sect, Qing Hong Peak. Murong Yu has already left the Tiandao school. Fan Tong didn't come with him. Should we kill him on the way? A core disciple of the Heavenly Alliance asked Chu Lin, the second in command of the Heavenly Alliance. No need. Just send someone to follow him and lead the way. Chu Lin's face flashed with killing intent as he said indifferently. Lead the way? Some people looked confused. Murong Yu should know how to get to the toxic continent. Why does he need to lead the way? Haha, young Master Chu means that we must bring Murong Yu to the toxic continent. Another person said with a laugh. So that's how it is. The eyes of those who didn't understand suddenly lit up as they looked at Chu Lin, their eyes filled with admiration. At the same time, on Crimson Dragon Peak, the members of the Earth Alliance had the same idea. Neither side would send experts to intercept and kill Murong Yu on the way. They would only supervise Murong Yu's entry into the toxic continent. With Murong Yu's true god realm, he would definitely die once he entered the toxic continent. At the edge of the toxic continent, the poisonous gas was the thinnest. Even a true god could barely stay there for a while. The only teleportation formation between the toxic continent and the dream wilderness continent stood there. At that moment, the teleportation formation shone brightly. In the next moment, a young man in black appeared on the toxic continent. The young man was Murong Yu. There was no one around. After Murong Yu appeared, he habitually looked around. However, he didn't see anyone else other than himself. Well, at the edge of the toxic continent where the poisonous gas was thinnest, there was nothing valuable. As for the deeper parts, not many people could go in. Even if there were people, they wouldn't stay there. My power isn't suppressed, but the poisonous gas can corrode my divine sense. Murong Yu didn't leave immediately to go deeper into the toxic continent. After observing for a while, Murong Yu realized that his power wasn't suppressed. However, his divine sense would be corroded by the poisonous gas. Moreover, ever since he set foot on the toxic continent, he was drowned by the poisonous gas. At that moment, the poisonous gas was corroding his body continuously and even entered his body through his pores. This is only the outermost part, and the poisonous gas can corrode a divine sense. If that's the case, how terrifying is the poison gas in the depths of the toxic continent? Murong Yu narrowed his eyes as he looked at the endless toxic continent. Energy surged out and formed a protective shield around Murong Yu's body, enveloping his entire body. It blocked the poisonous gas from corroding his body. However, the poisonous gas was omnipotent. It could corrode everything, whether it was power, physical body, or divine sense. Since I'm already here, let's go deeper into the toxic continent. Murong Yu pondered for a moment and flew into the depths of the toxic continent. During this process, Murong Yu realized that the toxic continent was no different from other continents. There were animals, plants, and beasts. However, these animals, plants, and beasts all had one thing in common, which was that their bodies were poisonous. After all, they grew up on the toxic continent and had already adapted and integrated into the toxic continent. As he went deeper, the poisonous gas became denser and more terrifying. At that moment, Murong Yu had already retracted his divine sense. The corrosion was too strong. As for the power he distributed around his body, it was being consumed rapidly. If it wasn't for the Tree of Life's ability to directly absorb chaos energy from the chaos, Murong Yu's replenishment wouldn't be enough. In fact, the toxic continent's heaven and earth origin chi was very dense, even more so than the dream wilderness continent. Perhaps it was because there weren't many people cultivating here and absorbing the origin chi. However, Murong Yu didn't dare to absorb the origin chi to replenish his depleted power. After all, the origin chi was highly poisonous. If he absorbed the energy, Murong Yu would quickly become a poisonous man and be poisoned to death. As his power wasn't suppressed, Murong Yu's speed was extremely fast. After a few days, he had already traversed the distance of about a region. The poisonous gas became more and more terrifying. The speed at which the Tree of Life absorbed chaos energy was already equal to the amount of energy consumed. If he continued to go deeper, Murong Yu would be in a situation where the energy he absorbed wasn't enough. Moreover, the deeper he went, the more powerful the beasts were. At that moment, a heavenly god realm beast appeared in front of Murong Yu. The beasts here were generally stronger than beasts of the same realm on other continents. Moreover, the most terrifying thing wasn't their strength, but their poison. This was a Vajra rhinoceros that was about 10 feet tall. At this moment, it was glaring at Murong-yu with an ominous glint in its eyes. Roar! After a furious roar, the Vajra rhinoceros turned into a stream of light and charged forward. The sharp horn on its head flickered with traces of cold blue light, eerie and murderous. Murong-yu wasn't in the mood to fight with this Vajra rhinoceros. Moreover, this Vajra rhinoceros's strength wasn't worthy of him making a move. Therefore, with a thought, the dragon beast's heavenly king realm pressure suddenly erupted, directly suppressing the Vajra rhinoceros. Although the Vajra rhinoceros's defense was extremely terrifying, the heavenly god realm was comparable to the heavenly sky realm. However, under the dragon beast's pressure, it still exploded into a cloud of blood mist. What a pity! Murong-yu looked at the red dragon fruit tree swaying in the wind not far away and sighed. The red dragon fruit could increase one's strength and temper one's body. It was a pity that no one dared to eat something that grew on the highly poisonous continent. Murong-yu saw many divine materials along the way, but he didn't pick them, because it was useless even if he stepped on them. Hichu, is there a way to isolate the corrosion of these poisonous gases? Can the Hichu Luoshu be isolated? Murong-yu didn't continue to move forward, but communicated with Hichu in his mind. Without waiting for Hichu's reply, Murong-yu took out the Hichu Luoshu and suspended it in the void above his head. Streaks of yellow airflow fell from the Hichu Luoshu, enveloping Murong-yu's entire body. It's effective. After the yellow airflow fell, Murong-yu saw that the poisonous gases didn't dare to approach as if they had met the god of plague, and actually automatically avoided them. What's going on? Could it be that these poisonous gases are afraid of the Hichu Luoshu? Seeing this scene, Murong-yu was shocked. The Hichu Luoshu is the #1 book in the world. There are only things that you can't think of, there's nothing that it can't do. Hichu said lightly. In fact, as the artifact spirit of the Hichu Luoshu, Hichu also couldn't explain why. Murong-yu rolled his eyes and immediately moved forward. However, he did his best to shrink the Hichu Luoshu as small as possible, trying not to let others discover the Hichu Luoshu. One must know that he wasn't the only one in the hypertoxic continent. If he encountered an expert who discovered that the Hichu Luoshu could actually block the poisonous gases, he was afraid that he would immediately attack. At that time, Murong-yu wouldn't even have time to react and would be killed. This was why he didn't take out the Hichu Luoshu as soon as he entered the hypertoxic continent. Instead, he turned the Hichu Luoshu into an inner armor and wore it on his body. The hypertoxic continent was even bigger than the Dream Wilderness continent. Murong-yu sped all the way. Relying on the Hichu Luoshu to conceal his aura, he easily avoided those powerful demon beasts and flew towards the center. If there were any opportunities or ruins in the hypertoxic continent, then it could only be in the center. After all, the other places had already been searched by those powerful people. Yes, there are ruins of a sect ahead. This place is already close to the depths of the hypertoxic continent. Let's go and take a look. Perhaps there will be some gains. The scale of this sect was extremely large, at least stronger than the Heavenly Dao sect. After Murong-yu approached, he didn't immediately land and continued to fly towards the depths of the sect. The main members of the sect were usually hidden in the depths of the sect. Senior brother, could it be that the hypertoxic continent really has a poison dragon king? At this time, a voice came from afar. The hypertoxic continent became like this because of the poison dragon king. Master predicted that the poison dragon king's lifespan would run out in the next few years and die. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.